Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another amazing reading. Tonight we're doing maybe the greatest film ever made, Batman and Robin from 1998, I believe, directed by the late Joel Schumacher. We have an amazing cast here tonight. We have Jessica to my left playing Poison Ivy, aka Pamela Isley. Everybody has an alter ego in this movie. We have Rudy, of course, playing the boy wonder himself, Dick Grayson, aka Robin, the Robin of the title. There's even a Nightwing reference in this draft, as you'll see. So he also gets to play Nightwing, kind of. We have Logan playing a whole bunch of people, including Dr. Jason Woodrow, who's an insane person, as we'll soon see. We have Travis, of course, playing a whole bunch of people as well, including Commissioner Gordon, who probably does absolutely nothing in this movie, which is why I thought of Travis immediately. Kidding, Travis, I love you. But Travis will play a lot of other people for us, including Mr. Freeze's wife, Nora. We have Jeremy, of course, returning as Alfred and also doing our scene description. We have the lovely Paul down there, who's going to be our Batgirl, aka Barbara Wilson, not Barbara Gordon in this version. They couldn't even get that right. And then, of course, last but not least, we have Anne playing Mr. Freeze himself, Dr. Victor Freeze, Mr. Schwarzenegger. And then I'll be playing Batman. This is probably George Clooney's best performance and the one he's most proud of, I'm sure. All right, so whenever you're ready, Jeremy, let's do this.
Wait, you guys all Mr. Freezed. You guys are all Mr. Frozen to me.
Can you hear us now?
Hey, yeah.
Okay.
It's part of it because of the Frozen thing.
All right, yeah, it's good on my end, Jeremy. So let's just do it.
Everybody else is frozen. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, cool. Sorry, my computer's on. Oh, we're back. Okay.
Okay, if there's problems, I'll pause it. Yeah.
All right, I'm back. Frozen. Okay, Batman and Robin, written by Academy Award winner Akiva Goldsman. Fact. Interior Batcave, Batman's costume vault. Chrome and shadow. A black gauntlet snaps into place. A cape whips over a dark rubber back. A bat-shaped buckle locks. Interior Batcave, Robin's costume vault, intercut. A silver throwing bird is chosen from a weapons array. Gloved hands lift a black eye mask. Tunic armor clicks shut, turning to reveal the chest-borne insignia of a Robin. Interior Batcave, Batman, close. Emerges from his costume vault wider. Deeper excavation has doubled the size of the cavern. New state-of-the-art computing systems flash. Surveillance screens monitor news and police frequencies. Crime's worst nightmare. Batman strides towards the rising steam-obscured pedestal which bears the sleek, redesigned Batmobile. Robin appears in the door of his costume vault, dressed in the black and red of his Nightwing costume. Two Dark Avengers stand suited, ready to take back the night.
Nice suit. And today you are?
Nightwing, Scourge of Darkest Evil.
This is all about fashion for you, isn't it?
It's the gear. Chicks love the gear.
This is why Superman works alone.
Alfred steps forward out of the shadows. Do call if you're going to be late for dinner, sir. Turbos, close, roar. The Batmobile shoots away through the arches of the cave access tunnel. The compass to the Batmobile service pedestal splits wide like the opening petals of a flower, revealing a sleek, turbocharged motorcycle. Meet Robin's bike, the Redbird. Drive carefully, Master Wing.
Don't wait, I'll bow.
The Redbird's turbo close. Explodes into life. The powerful bike shoots after the Batmobile. Alfred watches them go. Then he relaxes. Lets his weight fall against the main console. A man not as well as he seems. Interior Batcave access tunnel. Batmobile moving. Batman is behind the wheel. Robin visible through the window.
10 police cruisers frozen solid on the Gotham Expressway.
Interior Batcave access tunnel. Redbird moving. Robin is on his bike. Data scrolling on his console monitor.
A giant drilling truck burrowing under the city?
Mr. Freeze.
The Bat computer tracks him heading for the Gotham Museum.
The new antiquities exhibit, the second son of the Sudan.
Of course. He's going to steal the giant white diamond.
No, Robin, he's going to jail.
Batman's monitor close. The Gotham Museum. Push in. Exterior Gotham Museum night. A stone and glass palace set on the edge of Gotham Central Park. Interior Gotham Museum night. A giant drilling truck points up through the rubble of the shattered museum floor. Wider, a great hall, bearing the skeleton of a mighty brontosaurus amongst a myriad of other exotic antiquities, all frozen. Hold on a giant diamond case. The case begins to glow blue, then white, the shatterproof glass exploding into 1,000 flying fragments. Rack in, through the storm of ice and glass, across the frozen floor, past exhibits of Aztec ruins peppered now with 3 frozen guards, up stone steps of a pyramid altar to reveal a silver-suited figure stands, bald head visible beneath a helmet, a high-tech bazooka in his hand. Mr. Freeze!
The Iceman cometh.
Wider, a gang of thugs in thermal suits, the Icemen, skate to the base of the steps to hold a moaning, shivering guard captive.
Please, show mercy.
Freeze begins down the altar steps, a shimmering, terrifying god.
I'm afraid my condition has left me cold to your pleas of mercy.
Freeze fires his weapon, the beam of cryonic energy engulfing the guard, turning him to ice.
Copsicle.
Freeze closes now on the shattered case.
In this universe, there is only one absolute. Everything.
Freeze swipes away the shattered glass and steel from the debris, lifts a tremendous diamond.
Freezes.
Freeze holds the diamond high over his head, the light hitting the gem like a star. The skylight close. Explodes. Batman free falls into the room, hitting the brontosaurus and sliding down its neck, smashing Freeze with his feet, the diamond sliding across the frozen floor.
Hi, Freeze. I'm Batman.
Bat on ice, anyone?
Batman kicks the pistol high in the air and catches it.
Didn't your mother ever tell you not to play with guns?
Freeze cartwheels across the room, kicking the gun away from Batman, crushing it in midair, catching it.
You're not sending me to the cooler.
Freeze fires. Batman dodges the blast. Freeze takes aim again. The front door's close. Blow open. Robin on the Redbird flies into the room. Batman uses the distraction. Flying kicks the gun into the air. Robin soars over Freeze's head, kicks the airborne gun to the altar top, the giant pyramid.
Score. And the crowd goes wild.
Robin lands, laying his bike sideways in a slide, knocking a precious vase into midair. He grabs the statue, using it to whip around in a dismount. Batman catches the falling vase, replaces it as Robin skates beside him.
You break it, you buy it.
The two heroes race for Freeze.
Grab the gem. Kill the heroes.
More Icemen and hockey masks, sticks in hand, rush the Cape Crusaders from both sides.
It's the hockey team from hell.
Freeze is racing towards the altar and his falling gun. 6 guards rush in through a side door and swarm the unarmed Freeze. Mistake. Freeze begins wailing on the guards. It's a straight display of fisticuffs executed with unbelievable speed and precision. Hooks, jabs, upper and lower cuts, all perfectly delivered, felling the assault force.
Cop suey.
He begins racing again for his gun. Batman and Robin being martial arts extraordinaire, blocking stick blows, punching and kicking the Iceman. The gem lays on the ice behind the wall of advancing Icemen. Batman and Robin grab 2 assailants, slipping between their legs, skates popping out of their boots as they snatch the Iceman sticks and trip the villains. Freeze has made it to his gun. He turns, fires, creating an ice bridge to the floor.
Caution, bridge may ice over.
He slides down the ice bridge to the floor below, starts racing for his giant drilling truck. Batman begins skating towards Freeze.
You get the ice, I'll get the Iceman.
Robin skates through the thugs, double sticking, checking them wildly into the boards, reaches down and scoops up the diamond.
Sweet.
Freeze is racing toward his truck. Batman closing fast behind him. Freeze spins and fires. Batman ducks, using his cape as an ice shield, deflecting the beam into a closing Iceman behind him, freezing the villain solid. Freeze disappears behind the giant Brontosaurus. Robin skates into line with Batman, both heading fast for Freeze.
I got mine. Where's yours?
Freeze fires his gun, freezing the legs of the mighty Brontosaurus.
Hey, what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age.
Freeze pushes on the belly of the beast, the mighty creature toppling forward, exploding in front of Batman and Robin.
He's definitely extinct.
Batman and Robin skate fast to avoid the debris. An Iceman flies in from the side, hitting Robin's hand, setting the gem flying free. Another Iceman skates to the gem, hitting it with a stick, sending the diamond flying up into the landing by the front doors. Freeze has made it to his truck, is climbing towards the hatch. The Icemen are a rushing wall between the Cape Crusaders and the gem. Batman and Robin skate toward the villains, pulling flagpoles from a display as if they're about to joust the Icemen. At the last second, Batman and Robin drive their poles into the ice, vaulting over the heads of the Icemen towards the landing and the waiting gem above. Freeze has climbed to the hatch of his vehicle.
Hit me, boys.
Batman and Robin land on the landing, inches from the gem. An Iceman skates from the wings with a slap shot, sends the diamond flying. Freeze's glove close, the diamond hits. A perfect catch.
Ha! Thanks for playing.
Freeze drops into the cab of his giant drilling truck. The hatch starts to slide closed.
Round up the thugs. I'll get Freeze.
Batman leaps onto the banister, slides standing down the rail, and jumps, dropping into the close hatch after Freeze. Interior drilling truck control capsule. A bank of control panels are set inside the giant glass head of the drill. Batman falls in to find Freeze standing at the main console.
Stop the insanity.
Nice of you to drop in.
Freeze hits a button. A tremendous roar. Interior museum. The capsule set on an end of an ejection cylinder blasts out of the drilling truck, rising like a rocket towards the roof. Robin jumps on another banister, slides down, grabs a banner, and swings himself onto the side of the cylinder, clutching a porthole ledge and hanging fast. Exterior Gotham Museum. The capsule blows through the top of the museum, rocketing towards the starry night sky above. Zoom in. Robin clings to the side of the rocket for dear life. Interior capsule. Batman is thrown to the floor by the powerful exhilaration. Freeze stays upright, protected by his mighty suit.
You were a great scientist once. Don't squander your genius on evil.
I hate being lectured. Ah!
Freeze throws Batman hard into the bulkhead, uses his pistol to freeze Batman's ankles and wrists to the wall in chunks of ice.
Watch the numbers, Batman, for they are the harbingers of your doom.
Altimeter close, 10,000 feet, and climbing fast.
Can you feel it coming? The icy cold of space. At 30,000 feet, your heart will freeze and beat no more.
The altimeter close, 15,000 feet, and rising. Exterior capsule. Robin has climbed onto the nose cone. It's struggling against the acceleration, using bat magnets to crawl towards the escape hatch. Interior capsule. Freeze steps into a glide wing backpack mounted on the wall.
After you have frozen, your icy tomb will plummet back to Gotham.
Freeze, you're mad. This capsule will slaughter thousands.
Freeze releases the door behind him, the sky whipping past beyond.
Ain't it grand? Freeze well. Ah!
Freeze leaps out into the night. Exterior night sky. Freeze begins to plummet towards the lights of Gotham below. Freeze's backpack close. A sleek wing extends from its housing. Freeze angles himself downward in midair, using his glide wing to control his fast flight towards the distant city. Interior capsule, the controls, the glass nose cone, the capsule itself are all frosting over. The hatch opens. Robin drops in.
I was just hanging around.
I thought you were going to stay in the museum and round up the thugs.
How about nice to see you? Glad you're here to save my life.
Robin pulls a laser from his utility belt. Flash melts one of his ice shackles.
When we get home, we're having a little communication workshop.
Robin flash melts the other ice gauntlet. Batman is free.
Is it cold in here, or is it just me?
Altimeter close, 20,000 and rising. Ice is forming everywhere.
Gotta make sure this rocket doesn't turn Gotham into a crater.
Batman whips a bat-shaped charge, throws it on the ceiling. An armed light on the charge flashes green.
Now what? We call a taxi?
Batman grabs a handle marked caution, explosive bolts. Robin smiles, grabs a similar handle on the opposing metal door.
Watch the first step.
Surf's up.
Both pull the release handles, leaping onto the capsule doors as the explosive bolts blow them into space. Bat charge light close. goes red. Exterior night sky falling as the capsule explodes above them, raining falling debris. Batman and Robin skyboard on the doors down towards Freeze, who's rocketing to Earth, the diamond in his hand. Batman and Robin race towards Freeze in the city below. The Cape Crusaders avoid skyscraper turrets and elevated bridges as they follow in Freeze's wake. Batman swoops down above the villain, pushing off his skyboard, grabbing Freeze around the neck, the diamond flying into midair. Robin maneuvers in a grand flip, grabs the falling gem. Freeze releases his glide pack buckle, dislodging Batman, the hero, and the glide pack spinning away from Freeze. Batman dumps the glide pack, arcs back into his rushing drop. Freeze is descending fast towards the giant smoking chimney of a towering industrial complex. He aims his gun at the smoking torch and fires, the fast maw quickly covering with snow. Freeze plummets into the snowy chimney. Batman and Robin drop into the ice shaft after the villain. Freeze fires his gun as he falls, slowing his descent by turning the chimney into a madly snaking tunnel of ice before him. Batman and Robin tumble headfirst through layers of snow after the villain. They pull their back grapples and fire. Back grapples close, hit the wall, catch. Batman and Robin use their tethers to slow their descent, landing hard in interior industrial basement, a long submarine-like corridor.
Cool. Can we do that again?
Batman and Robin race towards Freeze, who's fleeing down the other end of the corridor. He points his gun at the ceiling, fires. The sprinkler system pipes explode, forming a mighty, intense blizzard in the wind tunnel.
Sudden temperature drop. Watch out for the...
A blast of wind roars down the tunnel, slamming the door, sending snow and ice whipping towards them.
wind.
Batman and Robin whip their capes over their faces, push forward, fighting the storm, going through the doors one by one. Interior boiler room, frozen. At the terminus of the tunnel, a frozen boiler stands in the center of the icy moat of the building's internal reservoir. The door swings open, Batman pushing inside. Freeze flies from behind the door, slamming the metal portal hard into Batman's face. Batman tumbles forward. Freeze raises his gun. Another figure leaps in from the hallway, going for Freeze. Robin! Freeze fires, turning the boy into a frozen sculpture of ice. He plucks the diamond from his icy hand. Exterior cross-section of Gotham City. Visual effects. A schematic map of Gotham. Freeze's vehicle burrows underneath the city, freezing the firmament in its path and clearing away the debris heading towards the boiler room. Interior boiler room. A rumbling. Suddenly the wall explodes. Freeze's drilling truck appears in the clearing smoke.
Oh, can you be cold, Batman? You have 11 minutes to thaw the bird. What will you do? Chase the villains or save the boy?
Freeze leaps onto the giant vehicle.
Your emotions make you weak. That's why this day is mine. Stay cool, bats.
And Freeze is gone, sealing the tunnel hole after him with a blast of ice, clearing the frosted pane to wave goodbye. Batman moves fast to the Boy Wonder, touches his frozen skin. He whips out his bat laser, points at the icy reservoir, and fires. The reservoir close. The frozen water melts, begins to simmer. The Cape Crusader immerses Robin in the steaming sea. Under the water, the boy's face is perfectly still. A long beat. Then Robin's head breaks the surface, coughing, alive.
Did we get him?
Exterior South American rainforest night. Thunder. Lightning flashes on a maze of tens and topulins, afflicts to the ruins of a decaying prison mort. A for sale or lease sign is illuminated by the storm. Screen reads, meanwhile, somewhere in the South American jungle. Interior tented greenhouse lab night. Bunsen burners flicker, beakers bubble. Martha Stewart does Frankenstein. Pamela Isley, lovely features hidden by glasses and bad hair shape obscured by her lab coat, talks in a cylindrical micro recorder.
I still have high hopes for the animal-plant crossbreedings.
Pam surveys the two lab tables. One table is a mass of plants. The other is covered with tanks of spiders, snakes, and scorpions. Tubes run from the lethal beast into a jar of milky fluid labeled venom. More tubes run from the venom jar into the plants. One plant twitches as it receives the toxins.
If I can only find the correct dose of venom, these plants will be able to fight back like animals. I will give Flora a chance against the thoughtless ravages of man.
An agonized scream. Terrified, Pam walks towards the source of the whales, a Gothic prison door to which the tent is affixed. The portal is marked Project Gilgamesh.
Personal note. My work would proceed faster if Dr. Woodrue weren't always risking my venom samples back to his mysterious Gilgamesh wing. Why won't he let me into his lab?
Another blood-curdling scream. Pam turns off the recorder.
What is he doing in there?
Just then the door opens. A startled Pam dropping a recorder as lightning flashes and Dr. Jason Woodrow enters. Einstein's hair, Manson's eyes.
Dr. Isley, loveliest flower in our garden. How fare our little wards?
Woodrow moves in too close, backing Pam against her work table. His face inches from hers. He spots the jar of venom.
What do we have here? A lovely new supply of venom. I'll just take this to my laboratory for further study.
What exactly are you working on in there? What are those screams?
A bright flash of lightning. Woodrow advances on Pam.
Oh, how I'd love to share my secrets with you. But I ask you, sweet sapling, can you be trusted? You refuse my invitations to dine. You hide your honeyed buds behind these sallow robes.
More lightning and even more deafening thunder.
Ah, but there's romance in the air tonight. Perhaps a sunlit stroll in the jungle, and then later, in the dark, we can share everything.
Woodrow has her up against the wall, his twitching lips only inches from hers. Pam winces, manages to step away. Another scream!
You have to tell me what you're doing with my venom.
You must show me your secrets, Blossom, before I show you mine.
Pam watches him leave as the door to the Gilgamesh wing swings closed. Pam kicks her fallen recorder, the metal cylinder rolling between door and jamb, keeping the entrance from sealing. Interior labs, Gilgamesh section, walking. Pam steals through the crumbling hallway of the abandoned prison, following the screams as they grow ever louder. Interior labs, Gilgamesh chamber. Banks of flashing super craze. A gurney is surrounded by sparking and humming equipment. Frankenstein meets Frankenstein. Woodrow emerges from the shadows, a portable phone in hand.
Ladies and gentlemen of the United Nations and Mystery Bidder.
Pull back to reveal. A small bridge arcs over the room, and an American general, a Russian commissar, a sheik, and a dictator all watch from above.
I give you the future of military conquest.
A scrawny prisoner in a too large tank suit is dragged into the room by several gun-toting capos, and shackled to the gurney. His bald skull is adorned with 3 surgically implanted ducts.
I present Antonio Diego, serial murderer serving life in prison and sole surviving volunteer.
Diego spits.
And what a charmer he is.
Wider, Pam slips in, unseen, hides behind a stack of circuit boxes, watching on as Woodrow lifts the jar of milky venom.
Our super soldier serum, codenamed Venom. Patent pending, of course.
Woodrow pours the venom into a high-tech injector pack strapped to the back of the gurney. He lifts an open front black and white mask attached by snaking tubes to the injector pack.
Notice the hassle-free zipper?
He pulls the oversized mask over Diego's head. Tubes fitting into the ducts in the skull zips the fabric closed over his face.
Time to scream.
He hits a control stud on the remote. The injector pack begins pumping the milky venom into Diego's skull. Diego screams. Something strange happens to the prisoner. His chest begins to enlarge. His neck becomes thick. His forearms grow.
Ah, behold the ideal killing machine. I call this little number Bane. Bane of humanity. Imagine it. Your own private army made up of thousands of these super soldiers. Bidding begins at a mere 10 million.
Woodrow ups the venom flow. Impossibly, the prisoner grows larger. Arm and leg shackles snap. Bane lurches for the venom pump, smashing consoles, sparking components raining down around Pam. Pam screams. As capos rush to subdue Bane, Woodrow strides to the dazed Pam.
Isley, welcome to my parlor.
Interior corridor walking, Woodrow is escorting a nervous Pam back towards her lab.
Our original sponsor had no stomach for military applications. He cut the funding for our work.
Our work?
Well, without your research, I could have never come this far. Join me, the two of us entwined side by side.
They've arrived at Pam's workshop. Woodrow opens the door. Interior Pamela's workshop continues.
Join you? I've spent my life trying to protect plants from extinction, and now you corrupt my research into some maniacal scheme for world domination. When I get through with you, you won't be able to get a job teaching high school chemistry. Do you hear me, you psycho?
Well, I can respect your opinion.
Woodrow shoves Pam viciously backwards into the interconnected tables, plants, and poisonous beasts raining down on top of her.
Sadly, I'm not good at rejection.
Woodrow begins pulling shelves of cages and bubbling beakers crashing down atop the struggling Pam, burying her in all her specimens entirely.
I'm afraid you'll have to die.
Woodrow, close, smiles as the sounds of Pam's struggle are finally silenced. He turns, heading back into the hallway.
Hello, maniacs! Bidding begins.
Interior Batcave night. Bruce stands with Dick, now wrapped in a blanket, steaming mug in hand, watching the main monitor.
Gotham University Labs security video 2 years ago.
Screen close, the image of a dazzling high-tech laboratory. A beautiful young woman, Nora Fries, lays on a gurney. A scientist works a bank of controls over a smoking vat of cryonic solution. Handsome, the intense gaze of genius, the man Freeze once was.
Dr. Victor Fries, two-time Olympic decathlete, Nobel Prize winner in molecular biology. After his wife contracted a rare disease, McGregor syndrome, he hoped to freeze her in cryogenic sleep until he could discover a cure. Here's where everything goes north.
Alarms flash, a panel explodes. Freeze is blown into the vat of cryogenic solution.
That liquid is 50 below.
Freeze screams, engulfed in the mists of cryonic solution, his skin now frozen bluish, his hair brittle, all but gone.
That's gotta hurt.
Somehow he survived, but the cryo solution mutated his body.
The display shows a turning schematic of Freeze.
What happened to his wife?
Presumed dead, no one knows.
The display now shows a turning Mr. Freeze. Compartments in both suit sleeves are highlighted, flashing diamond shapes within.
He needs extreme cold to survive. His cryosuit uses diamond-enhanced lasers to keep him at 0 degrees.
Let me get this straight. A brilliant citizen disfigured by a horrible accident reemerges as a psychotic supervillain bent on theft, revenge, and destruction? You see a pattern here?
Maybe it's something in the water.
Bruce returns Dick's smile.
Well, if it's ice the Iceman wants, Alfred.
Interior costume vault, continuous. Alfred stands near the costumes, clutching a console. A man in intense pain. He lets the waves subside, regains his composure. Interior Batcave, continuous. Alfred emerges, as if nothing were wrong.
I need the Wayne Diamonds.
We're gonna trap ourselves a snowman.
Absolutely. Just as soon as you take 10 hours training in the simulator.
Whoa. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. Don't go all protective on me. It won't happen again.
Dick, you were reckless. You could have been killed.
I'm fine. See? Me here, alive. How are we gonna work together if you're never gonna trust me?
How indeed. Bruce stares at the two of them. He smiles a wry smile.
When did I become the bad guy?
Interior back staircase walking. Bruce and Alfred travel the winding stair that leads from the Batcave to the top of the house.
He's overeager, impulsive. I can't trust him not to get hurt.
Perhaps the truth is you don't really trust anyone.
Don't tell me you're on his side again.
Despite all your talents, you are still a novice in the ways of family. Dick follows the same ends as you. I guess there was one. Sorry. You must learn to trust him, but that is the nature of family. So inappropriate. They step through a doorway into Interior Alfred's quarters. Night continuous.
I trust you, Alfred.
Alfred seems oddly pained by Bruce's words, but I shan't be here forever. Bruce stares at Alfred a beat, but Alfred just smiles. Good night, Master Bruce. Exterior Wayne Manor hallway. Bruce exits his butler's room, looks to the end of the hallway. A younger Bruce, no older than 10, comes racing around the corner, trips, tumbling to the wooden floor. Another figure steps out behind him. Alfred, decades younger, kneels by the boy, brushing off his knees, giving the boy comfort. Back to scene. Bruce, close, blinks away the images from the past. Only the fragile ghosts of memory. Moves off down the empty hallway. Interior Alfred's quarters. Night. Alfred sits at the computer. Activates the screen. He lifts a CD, slips it into the disk drive, begins to type.
Override engaged. Copying protected files.
Alfred lifts a micro recorder. Still unable to reach you. Have vital information you must see. Screen close. The files. Alfred is copying. Batmobile design, Batsuit schematics, all downloading onto the small disk. Exterior South American jungle, prison, more. Night. A full moon shines over the hidden complex. Interior tented greenhouse lab. Woodrow stands at Pam's workstation, talking on his portable phone as he rifles through her research.
Yes, sir. I'm so pleased you won the bidding. Your supreme ruthlessness.
Bane screams in the distance.
Oh, yes, we're making the final modifications on Bane right now. We'll have 1,000 super soldiers out to you by tomorrow by overnight mail.
He hangs up, hold on a patch of ivy in the background, perfectly still. Suddenly the leaves rustle, as if being moved from beneath. Woodrow turns, as a figure bursts fast from beneath the brush. Magenta hair, chlorophyll green eyes, ravaged clothes revealing the form and demeanor of a goddess. The woman who was once Pamela Isley smiles, moves forward.
Dr. Isley?
Mm.
Pamela?
Mm-hmm.
You look great, especially for a dead woman.
Hello, Jason. I think I've had a change of heart.
Her lips glisten. She leans in and kisses him.
Quite literally, I don't think I'm human anymore. The animal plant toxins had a rather unique effect on me. They replaced my blood with aloe, my skin with chlorophyll, and filled my lips with venom.
Woodrow begins to choke. He falls, clutching his throat.
Oh, and Jason, one other thing. Silly me, I probably should have mentioned this earlier. I'm poison. Whew, it's a jungle in here.
Pam spills beakers of chemicals onto the floor. She throws a Bunsen burner to the ground. The lab suddenly inflames.
Let the flames touch the sky, for I am nature's arm, her spirit, her will. Hell, I am Mother Nature. The time has come for plants to take back the world so rightfully ours, because it's not nice to fool with Mother Nature.
Something catches Pam's eye. Pam lifts a broken beaker on it. The Wayne Enterprises logo. Bane screams in the distance.
Coming, Bane, darling. We've got a plane to catch.
Exterior snowy cones, ice cream factory night. An abandoned ice cream factory built in the shape of a snowman's face. A dripping cone stuck onto the giant snowball head. Interior snowy cones, ice cream factory. Abandoned. Always freezing. Ice sculpture everywhere. Freeze walks the bowels of the old factory. Icemen in parkas and snow bunnies eat frozen dinners, guffawing as they watch TV. The sexiest bunny saddles up to Freeze.
Freezy. I'm feeling hot.
I find that unlikely.
Okay. My hair is brittle. My skin is dry. And I don't care. I'd weather blizzards to have you. You're the most perfect man I've ever known.
To be frozen, never to change. A life of perpetual isolation. There's a little perfection in that.
What say we turn up the heat?
You're skating on thin ice. My passion thaws for my bride alone.
Forget your frosty femme. These lips are wet and ready to get frostbite.
Hop away, little bunny, before I cool your jets. Permanently.
The bunny hops away.
I wonder how cold I can get my shower. Frosty!
Freeze's faithful aide, Frosty, appears by his side.
Everyone is always having a good time, except me. Ah! Try as I might, I can't find no pleasure. Perhaps my heart truly has turned to ice.
Freeze lifts his gun and fires, freezing Frosty solid.
Well, that was fun. There's hope for me yet. Ah!
Freeze stares at his frozen aide a beat, changes the setting on his gun and fires, a thawing beam melting Frosty so he stands now soaked and dripping like a wet cat. Freeze turns on his heel. Frosty follows him past mounting files of research. scrawled schematics, an icy workshop.
Do you think I'm mad, Frosty?
I think that's really a judgment call, boss.
A flashing display on his suit watch reads, low power.
Battling the bat exhausted my power.
From a safe, Freeze takes 3 small diamonds, places them in the suit compartment. His power levels spike to normal.
But I was successful, nevertheless.
Freeze continues to a pedestal atop which sits a machine powered by 2 giant diamonds. Slots for 2 more diamonds are empty. He removes the giant stolen diamond from within his tunic, places the gem in an empty 3rd slot.
One more giant diamond of this size, and my freezing cannon will be complete. I will hold Gotham ransom. Unless the city bows to my demands, it's winter forever here in Goat Town. The city fathers will have no choice but to give me the billions I need to complete my research and to find the cure for.
Freeze has come to a frozen wall.
Leave us. We need quality time.
As Frosty exits in the background, Freeze enters a walk-in freezer, lifts a frozen dinner box. A secret vault opens. Freeze steps into. Interior Freeze's subterranean cold vault. Within, a computerized glacier-like sarcophagus bears his frozen wife, a snowflake pendant around her neck.
Soon we will be together once more.
Freeze turns towards his research, heading back to work.
Nothing frustrates a man like a frigid wife.
Interior Limbo, night. Robin is fighting Mr. Freeze and his cronies. Robin delivers a fast set of spinning kicks to the thugs, felling them like toys. A thug carrying a large diamond breaks free, racing away. Robin leaps for the escaping thug, putting his back to Freeze. Freeze raises his joined fist above Robin's head, coming down fast. Robin is done for. Suddenly, Batman swings out of the dark, his boots flying into Freeze's chest, sending the villain hard to the ground. Batman drops to Freeze's chest, hammers a series of punches into his tunic, rendering him unconscious. Batman looks up at Robin.
We'll be starting again now.
Just then, Freeze's hand shoots out, grabbing Batman by the throat.
Pause virtual reality simulation.
Push in as Batman reaches towards his cowl. Screen wipes to reveal Bruce Wayne. What? Close. Pulls off a pair of VR goggles, wider. Bruce and Dick, also in VR goggles, stand on an empty platform in the back of the Batcave.
I got the diamond. Quel problemo, Bruce.
You left your back wide open. Freeze could have killed you.
Dick demonstrates a spinning backkick that would have dropped Freeze in his tracks.
I had it covered.
Ding dong.
You know, in the circus, the Flying Graysons were a team. We had to trust each other. We had to count on each person to do his part. That's what being partners is all about. End simulation.
Ambient lights come up in the cave.
Sometimes counting on someone else is the only way to win.
Ding dong.
Where's Al?
Dick heads for the door.
Couldn't we just for once pretend that I'm the teacher and you're the student?
Interior Wayne Manor, foyer afternoon. Columns of dancing sunlight fill the giant entryway. Dick goes to the front door as Bruce meets Alfred emerging in the background. I must have dozed off. My sincerest apologies, sir.
No apology necessary. That's the first time in 30 years.
Bruce smiles, but he can't take his eyes off Alfred. The butler seems pale, older than usual.
Mystery pizza delivery?
Dick opens the door. A young girl stands in the autumn light, beautiful, dressed in prim schoolgirl clothes. Barbara Wilson.
Please be looking for me.
Actually, I'm looking for Alfred Pennyworth.
That's when the girl spots Alfred. The old man's eyes widen.
Uncle Alfred.
Barbara rushes in, past Dick and Bruce, into the old butler's arms. He holds her close. Bruce and Dick face each other.
Uncle?
Exterior Wayne Estate Gardens, afternoon walking. Bruce, Alfred, Dick, and Barbara tour.
How long has it been, Uncle Alfred?
10 years. Barbara isn't really my niece, sir. She's Joanna Clark's daughter.
Of course. Alfred still keeps your mother's picture in his room.
Anybody want to tell us kids and the cheap seats who Jonah Clark is?
Joanna and I were in love in London, but when I realized our age difference was too extreme,
Uncle Alfred left for America, much to my mother's dismay.
eventually she married a young physician. Exterior Wayne Estate stables, walking continuous.
Al's main squeeze. Is she here? I'm about to scrape the bottom of my shoe off my tongue, right?
My parents were killed in an auto accident 10 years ago. Alfred has been supporting me ever since.
You have?
Secrets are a virtual prerequisite in this house, don't you think?
I'm on break from
Oxbridge Academy.
their new computer sciences division. How'd you know?
I recognize the accent.
They have come to the garage. A motorcycle sits out front.
Oh my god. What is it? It's beautiful.
The way the sun catches Barbara, she looks like an angel.
You can say that again. It's a competition racer. I've been fixing up. Maybe one day I'll show you how to ride.
You certainly will not.
Don't worry, Uncle Alfred. I'm terrified of these things.
Well, I hope you'll stay with us.
There's a lovely inn just down the road.
All this luxury isn't really my style, but I'd love to stay.
And it's settled.
Oh, but sir, so much goes on.
Don't be silly, Alfred. After all, he's family.
Exterior Gotham Airport, tarmac night. A vintage DC-3 steams on the runway. Pilots descend the gangway. Pamela Isley dressed as a grieving window. Oh,
Oscar-winning writer here.
She's dressed up as a glass window. Supervises the luggage handlers. Debarkation of a coffin, an immense coffin.
Be gentle. He's always been touchy.
Whatever you say, lady.
Pam watches the handlers carry the coffin away. She turns, walks off across the tarmac. Favor the baggage handlers as they bear the coffin to the terminal.
He's always been touchy. And what do you know? You're a piece of glass.
A giant fist crashes through the splintering lid. The handlers drop the coffin as a figure emerges. Bane, wearing his full costume, his injector pack strapped to his back. Bane lifts a handler, begins swinging him like a baseball bat, sending the other handlers flying. Interior airport tarmac. A limousine sits at the edge of the runway. A lone businessman approaches the waiting car. The driver smiles, opens the door. The businessman climbs in to find interior limo night. Pam sits sprawled onto the back seat, showing no small bit of leg.
There must be some mistake.
Silly darling. There's no need to pretend in front of the driver.
She grabs his face, kisses him passionately. She lets go. The businessman slumps to his seat, dead.
Love hurts. In my case, it kills.
The rearview mirror, the limo driver watches on. Suddenly a hand reaches in, snapping his neck, drags out his body. Bane climbs into the driver's seat.
Once around the park.
Interior Alfred's room. The door is ajar. A gentle knock. Barbara pushes inside wearing a long terry robe. The room is empty. She notices a pile of envelopes on the desk. Envelopes close, all addressed to Wilfred Pennyworth, Royal Court of Mera Jean-Paul. All stamped return to sender. I didn't know sneaking around was on the curriculum at Oxbridge. Barbara turns. Alfred steps from the shadows in his robe.
I'm sorry, Uncle. I came to tuck you in, and I...
You came to tuck me in. That's quite a switch. I am looking for my brother Wilfred. He's first butler to the Maharaja of Mirajampur. But Mirajampur is a floating court. It travels across India, so Wilfred can be rather difficult to find. Alfred taps his computer keyboard. Screen close, full motion images of resplendent royal court carried entirely on the back of elephants.
I guess they don't have fax machines on elephants.
I've been trying to reach Wilfred with no success. As one grows older, one yearns for family.
It's good to see you again, Uncle. I've missed you.
As I've missed you. Sleep well, child. Barbara heads out, closing the door behind her. Interior hallway, continuous. Barbara walks to her room. She pauses, waiting for the light under Alfred's door to go out. Then she disappears inside. Interior Wayne Manor, Barbara's room, continuous. Barbara whips off her robe. Underneath a tight black leather motorcycle outfit, she begins pulling on a sleek black boots. Exterior Wayne Manor, night, continuous. A knotted climbing rope tumbles out of one of the windows. A figure expertly descends in the courtyard below. Turns, face now visible in the moonlight. Barbara! Interior Wayne Manor garage, night, continuous. Kids collect Matchbox and Corgi. Billionaires collect the real thing. Barbara enters, cloaked in the shadows, moves stealthily past the myriad cards until she comes to the row of motorcycles. She stops at a sleek competition bike, climbs on, pulling a racing helmet from her backpack, expertly kickstarts the engine. Barbara rides out through the open garage into the night. Interior Snowy Cone's ice cream factory, night. Freeze is standing at his computerized workstation, entering data into the keyboard.
Maybe this time, this new formula will return you to me.
Freeze hits a switch, a beat, then an alert panel flashes a simple message. Test failure. Freeze slams the console with his fist.
Ah!
Follow Freeze as he rises, walks through the open door into Freeze's vault, night. Freeze stares up at his wife in her frozen sarcophagus, fighting back the tears.
No cure tonight, my love. Forgive me. But soon, I promise you. Soon.
Interior limousine day, morning, Bane drives. Ivy sits in the back seat, applying brown contact lenses, donning a dark wig. Pamela Isley, once more.
Kind of hip, kind of wow, Ivy. Kind of free, kind of now, Ivy.
Exterior Gotham Observatory day establishing. A stone and copper observatory in the process of being restored, set atop the banks above the Gotham River and the city beyond. Interior observatory, an immense circular hall under construction. Within a partially installed telescope, Bruce stands flanked by a stunningly beautiful date, Julie Madison, a scientist, and his associate, all on the podium backed by blueprints facing the press.
My father once told me that to succeed, we need only pick our star and follow it. And so Wayne Enterprises is donating the world's most advanced telescope to Gotham's Observatory Restoration Project. Perhaps this telescope will give future generations a chance to find their own stars.
Brucey, is it true this new telescope can see all around the globe?
Yes, if you'll watch the monitors.
A monitor bank close, a graphic of the Earth. Equidistant satellites in synchronosis orbit are highlighted.
Satellites already in orbit allow us to reflect light around the planet.
On screen, a graphic ray of light is reflected from a satellite over Australia to a satellite over the US, and then beamed to a graphic of the Gotham-based telescope.
From here, we'll be able to see the sky anywhere on Earth.
Just don't point it at my bedroom.
Brucey, you and the exquisite Julie Madison have been going out forever. Are you planning to tie the knot?
Get married? Me? No.
No?
What I mean is no plans at the moment.
But soon. Soon?
Sooner or later, all relationships evolve, and
And
I get some help over here.
Julie smiles, turns to the press, the very picture of composure.
Bruce and I are lucky enough to be recklessly in love, and that is most certainly enough for us. For now.
Folks laugh, they're charmed.
Now, if you'll follow me, we'll show you the central control grid.
The scientist and associate toward Julie and the press around the telescope. Leaving Bruce to confer with the two of his aides.
Mr. Wayne?
Wider, Pam, hair in a bun, face behind glasses, cloaked in a frumpy suit, is standing behind two door guards.
She doesn't have a pass, sir.
Bruce smiles, waves off the guards with a gesture.
They're overly protective. You're not going to hurt me, are you, Miss?
Dr. Pamela Isley.
And what can I do for you, Doctor? A research grant, a hospital wing?
Actually, I already work for you, or did, your arboreal preservation project in South America.
We cut our support, a conflict of ideologies. Dr. Woodrow was a lunatic.
I see you knew him.
That lab was consumed by a fire last week. How did you manage to escape?
I have here a proposal showing how Wayne Enterprises can immediately cease all actions that toxify our environment.
Bruce takes the proposal, scans it. Pam's eyes shine despotic.
Forget the stars. Look here at the earth, our mother, our womb. She deserves our loyalty and protection. And yet you spoil her lands, poison her oceans, blacken her skies. You're killing her.
Your intentions are noble, but no diesel fuel for heat, no coolants to preserve food. Millions would die of cold and hunger alone.
Acceptable losses in a battle to save the planet.
People come first, Dr. Isley.
The tour has returned. Pam turns to the press, begins to soapbox.
Mammals, so smug in your towers of stone and glass. A day of reckoning is coming. The same plants and flowers that saw you crawl blind from the primordial soup will reclaim this planet. Earth will be a garden again. Somehow, some way, I will bring your man-made civilization to its knees, and there will be no one to protect you.
Pam's tirade is so extreme, folks around her laugh.
You must be new in town. In Gotham City, Batman and Robin protect us, even from plants and flowers.
Perhaps you'd like to meet them.
Bruce nods, and an aide hands Pam an invitation. Invitation close. Batman and Robin to appear at the floral ball.
The Cape Crusaders are helping us auction off a prized diamond to raise money for the Gotham Botanical Gardens. Just a few mammals doing what we can for our world's plants.
So, Bruce C., will the delicious Miss Madison be your date for the flower ball tonight?
Tell me, billionaire, would you warm faster to my pleas if I looked more like Miss January here?
Although the Wayne Foundation is hosting the event, sadly, I will be unable to attend. Thank you all. Good day, Doctor.
Pam watches him go, trailed by press, peers at her invitation.
Batman and Robin, militant arm of the warm-blooded oppressors, animal protectors of the status quo. First, I'll rid myself of the fur and feathered beasts, and then Gotham will be mine for the greening.
Interior, snowy cones, ice cream factory. Nora and Victor Freeze kiss at their wedding altar. The video images change to show the couple playing with a puppy. Nora laughs as her husband crowds beside her. He exits frame, hands her something.
Oh, Victor, it's beautiful.
Nora holds her snowflake necklace up for the camera, places it around her neck, smiling up taut to the warm summer sun. Pull back to reveal Freeze sits watching the images on his screen.
Excuse me, Chief. I got something here you want to see.
Frosty stands in the door, newspaper in hand. Without shifting his gaze, Freeze lifts his freezing gun, fires. Frosty freezes.
I hate it when people talk during the movie.
Freeze continues staring at the screen. Finally, the happy images are just too much for him. He fires his gun at the screen, the picture exploding into flying shards of light.
One more diamond, my love. One more.
Freeze rises. He breaks off the cover of the frozen paper in Frosty's hand. Paper close. Wayne donates diamond to flower ball. Exterior Gotham, Botanical Gardens night. An immense glass greenhouse set atop the roof of a mighty skyscraper. Elegant guests mill amidst the stars. Interior Gotham Botanical Gardens greenhouse night. A hanging banner reads Gotham Charity Flower Ball. A giant beast mask covers the entrance. Drummers stomp on Congo drums. Guests dressed as flowers. Two costume gorillas romp about the room. Batman and Robin stand by the stage.
You think Freeze will take the bait?
He'll be here.
Atop the stairs, the two gorillas have converged on the drummers. One begins dancing around, covertly knocking the drummers unconscious with paws. On stage, the MC walks out, followed by Gossip Gertie.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gossip Gertie of Good Morning Gotham and I welcome you to the gem of our evening.
Two armed guards emerge bearing a pallet upon which hangs a silver necklace supporting a perfect grapefruit-sized diamond.
The famed heart of Is, damn it, Travis, on loan from the collection of my close personal friend, Bruce Wayne.
The MC gestures and several women step forward dressed as flowers, each more strikingly gorgeous than the next.
Auction. An opportunity to dine with one of our fabulous flowers, the famed diamond draped around her neck.
Oh, look at all these luscious lovelies. Let's start the bidding.
10,000 for chrysanthemum.
20,000 for lilac.
30,000 for Rose. Boys, please show some gusto.
The top of the stairs, one gorilla begins to beat the drums. The other removes her paw mitts, her gorilla's head. From within her gorilla costume steps a vision. Skin-tight green costume made of leaves. Green boots and mask. Magenta hair. Glowing green eyes. Meet Poison Ivy. Simply the most beautiful woman known to man. Robin Close smiles.
Gorilla of my dreams.
Ivy lifts her green-gloved hand, both filled with piles of sparkling dust, blows the powder over the startled patrons. Follow the dust as it spins out in fairy-like spirals, curling through the crowd. The crowd, various shouts. Folks blink their eyes, suddenly bewitched, as Ivy tilts backwards, falling into the arms of several jungle-clad men on the ballroom floor. Ivy saunters over a bridge made of the backs of kneeling men, through the parting crowd towards Batman and Robin.
Hi there. Poison. Poison Ivy.
Batman close, dazed, like a man who's drunk a quart of love potion. He takes her hand.
Why not send Junior to bed early? I could come and take your measurements.
Ivy turns now to Robin, offers the other hand. She blows another volley of dust into Robin's face.
On the other hand, youth does have its advantages. Endurance, stamina.
Robin, close, also suddenly smitten, perhaps even harder.
Why settle for second place? Robin is a sidekick, a junior partner. If we were a team, you'd be the star. Forget the geriatric bat. Come, join me. My garden needs tending.
The two help her up onto stage. She turns to the mesmerized MC.
I'll take it from here, pal.
Ivy lifts the diamond, places it around her neck.
Some lucky boy's about to hit the honey pot. I'll include an evening of my company for the winner. I'll bring everything you see here, plus everything you don't. And I'll bring my imagination.
50,000 for Poison Ivy.
100,000 for Poison Ivy.
1 million.
You own it? 2 million.
Two lock eyes.
You don't have 2 million. 3 million.
I'll borrow it from you. 4 million.
You boys aren't gonna fight over little old me, are you?
Batman reaches to his utility belt, draws a batarang.
5 million.
Robin reaches to his utility belt, pulls a throwing burr.
6 million.
Is it getting nippy in here?
Batman pulls a bat credit card.
Can't leave the cave without it.
The teeth of the giant mass explode as Freeze's truck smashes into the room from an elevated bridge beyond. Standing atop the vehicle, backed by swirling mists, Freeze! His Icemen following behind.
Ah! Did I use the wrong door again?
Batman hurls his batarang, knocking Freeze's pistol free. Batman and Robin race forward, engulfed by the rushing force of Icemen. His pistol flies into the hands of one of the guests. A thug rams the guest from behind, the gun bouncing into the air. A swarm of armed security guards and guests swamp Freeze.
When technology fails, brute force!
Freeze moves like lightning, smashing guards with mighty punches, whipping guests flying across the room. Freeze's pistol bounces from guest to thug to guest, like a wildly fumbled football. A thug finally tipping the soaring gun back towards Freeze.
Alright, everyone, chill!
Freeze fires, turning a few guests and several exotic flower arrangements into ice.
Should have been a decorator!
Freeze starts for the stage. Batman and Robin are in mid-melee, fighting off an army of Icemen. Batman smashes one thug 3 times in the chin. Robin does a spinning sidekick to another approaching villain, then ducks, sending one villain crashing into another. Batman grabs a thug, throws him to Robin, who punches him back to Batman, who punches him back to Robin. Both punch him simultaneously. The thug flying back. I think he's had it. Back through the air. They begin fighting their way towards the stage. Freeze climbs onto the stage to face Poison Ivy.
Let me guess. Plant girl? Fine lady? Miss Moss?
Listen, Captain Cold, the suit maybe, even though silver went out in the 70s, but those boots are unforgivable. What is it with men?
I'd love to stand here all day and exchange fashion tips, but I'm kinda pressed for time. So hand over the garden girl, or I turn you into mulch.
Ivy pulls a handful of dust from her belt pouch, blows it towards him. The dust swirls around his helmet. Ivy frowns.
Pheromone dust, designed to heat a man's blood. Doesn't work on the cold-hearted. Now, if you please.
Freeze extends his gloved hand.
Well, if you insist.
Ivy hands him the diamond.
Clever little Clover.
Just then, one of the thugs flies across the room, smashing into the back of the stage.
That's my exit cue.
Freeze races for his truck. Batman and Robin dispatch the last Iceman. Make for the stage.
You have 11 minutes to thaw these guests, Commissioner.
Batman and Robin race after the escaping Freeze and his men. Ivy stares after them. She lifts a small souvenir, a tiny glass globe that says, "Welcome to Gotham." Shakes the bauble. The tiny city within suddenly covered by snow. Gordon appears behind her.
Miss Ivy, you've just met one of the most sinister men in Gotham.
That's no man. That is a god.
Gordon moves off as the second gorilla arrives on stage, removes his mask. Bang!
Enough mucking business. We've got work to do.
Exterior Gotham City night. A giant statue stands amidst Gotham's skyscrapers. Closer, Freeze in his ice truck. Two crony trucks behind him race up for the interconnecting bridges that crisscross Gotham's skyline. Interior Freeze's truck. Freeze point of view. Gothamites veer their cars off the roadway in his path as Freeze spots the statue. He reaches for his dashboard. Freeze hits a flashing gun-shaped button on the dash. Exterior Freeze's truck night. A giant freeze gun atop the truck fires. Exterior Gotham rooftops night. The statue's head close. Freezes the neck of the giant figure exploding in a storm of ice. Freeze's truck swerves off the road, leaping through the hole in the statue's neck and racing onto its shoulder. His crony trucks follow, all racing away down the statue's arm. The Batmobile and the Redbird follow in close pursuit, blowing through the hole in the statue's neck. Interior Batmobile. Batman point of view. The Freeze vehicles are heading towards the hand of the statue. Batman hits a button. Monitor close. Flashing schematics of the various trajectories of the Freeze vehicles and their imminent jumps from the hand. Over the abyss of the city to the lower rooftops beyond.
Pull back. You can't make the jump.
Exterior Redbird.
I can make it.
Exterior statue's arm. The Batmobile is shooting down the arm. The Redbird close behind.
Pull back.
I can make it.
Robin shoots a wheelie, overtaking the Batmobile. Interior Batmobile.
Redbird control codes.
Monitor close. Schematics for the Redbird flash.
Disable engine.
Exterior Redbird night. Robin's engine warning light goes on. The motor begins to die. The abyss is coming up fast. Robin side grounds the bike, skidding. Exterior statue's hand night. Freeze and his cronies split towards the separate fingers. Super thrusters fire and Freeze's truck clears the jump, landing on the sloping roof on the other side of the abyss. His crony trucks follow, taking different fingers, flying into the air towards the rooftops beyond. Not high enough. Exterior rooftop abyss night. One crony truck blows into an elevated billboard, the other exploding into the opposing building. Exterior rooftops. Freeze's truck hits the roof, brakes screeching, spinning 180 degrees. His freeze gun now pointing back over the abyss. Exterior statue's hand. The Redbird slides dangerously close to the end of the finger, and the abyss below, finally coming to a halt as Batmobile rockets its engine and roars past, flooring over the chasm. Robin stands on the fingertip, shouting his rage into the night. Exterior rooftops, abyss. The Batmobile soars over the abyss towards Freeze's truck. Interior Freeze's truck night.
It's a cold town.
Freeze hits the flashing gun-shaped button on the dash. Exterior Freeze's truck night. The freeze gun fires its deadly blast, hitting the Batmobile. Exterior statue's hand night. Robin watches as the flying Batmobile begins to ice over from Freeze's cryonic blast. Interior Batmobile. The controls are frozen. A monitor flashes. Systems failure. Batman point of view. The windscreen is covering with ice. Exterior rooftop abyss. The Batmobile's falling across the abyss like frozen sculpture. Suddenly, the windscreen explodes as Batman is catapulted through the glass like a torpedo, flying into the air high above the busy city. Exterior lower rooftops. The frozen Batmobile drops to the safety of the rooftops on the other side of the abyss. Exterior night sky. Batman flips, angling down, whipping his cape open like the wings of a giant dark angel. Riding the urban winds in a racing glide towards Freeze's truck below. Interior Freeze's truck night. The shadow of the Bat falls over the open cab of Freeze's truck.
Uh-oh.
Freeze, point of view, Batman, cape extended, soars directly over the cab. Exterior Freeze's truck. Batman smashes through the glass driver's dome, wrenching Freeze out of the cab and soaring towards exterior lower rooftop. Batman lands standing in the moonlight. A stunned Freeze rolling out of his cape, diamond still in hand.
I'm putting you on ice.
Exterior Wayne Manor night. Visual effects. The moonlight lit mansion sits on its cliff-top perch above the river, pushing as a portion of the cliff burns away. To reveal interior Batcave night. Bruce and Dick argue.
I could have made the jump.
You could have splattered your brains on the side of the building.
This is no partnership. You're never going to trust me.
Trust you. You can't even keep your head on the job. All you could think about was poison ivy.
You just can't stand that she might have wanted me instead of you. That's your idea of friendship, isn't it, Bruce? You have to have everything. Your house, your rules, your way, or the highway. It's Batman and Robin, not Robin and Batman. I'm sick of it.
Dick is right up in Bruce's face.
It's my rules that keep us alive. And if you want to stay in this house and on this team, then you'll abide by them.
Interior Alfred's quarters night. Alfred is completing a cassette tape. I've tried everything, every address I know for you. I'm praying this reaches you. We have very little time. Alfred puts the tape in the envelope. A knock. Bruce enters. Congratulations on your apprehension of Mr. Freeze. Batman monopolized the evening news.
Thanks.
But the billionaire seems anything but celebratory. Is there something wrong, sir?
Alfred, am I pig-headed? Is it always my way or the highway?
Why, yes, exactly. Death and chance stole your parents. But rather than become a victim, you have done everything in your power to control the fates. For what is Batman if not an effort to master the chaos that sweeps our world, an attempt to control death itself? Bruce, point of view. Out of the window, young Bruce and Alfred lay wreaths on the windy grave. Alfred puts his arm around the boy, holds him close. Back to scene.
But I can't, can I?
No, my boy. I'm afraid none of us can. Interior Wayne Manor garage night. The competition bike's headlight goes out. Wider, Barbara walks the bike stealthily back into the garage. A hand touches her shoulder. Barbara moves fast, flipping the assailant over her shoulder in an expert judo move. She spins to face Dick. Floored in every sense of the word. Barbara's demeanor suddenly changes, all schoolgirl politeness.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I've just never seen anything like it. So massive. I took it out for a spin. I do so hope I didn't inconvenience you. Yes, the outfit. For a costume party. Just trying it out. One never knows how leather will wear. Judo lessons at school, you know? All the rage, really. I suppose they've taken it better than I thought. Again, my greatest of pardons.
She's gone before Dick has a chance to speak. He stares after her. All is not as it seems in Wayne Manor. Exterior Arkham Asylum night. Moonlight illuminates the familiar castle out of a nightmare. Interior Arkham Asylum corridor. Several armed guards are rolling a giant Sub-Zero refrigerator on a gurney. The door chained and padlocked shut. Freeze is jammed inside, face visible through the torn-off freezer compartment door.
You're the common cold, and we're the cure. Welcome home, Frostface.
Allow me to break the ice. My name is Freeze. Learn it well, for it is the chilling sound of your doom.
Interior Arkham Asylum freezes cell night. Glowing rings on the floor and ceiling project a shimmering column of snowing cold within the center of the room. Two guards dump a suitless Freeze out of his frigid air prison onto the floor, begin dragging him into the cold field. Freeze throws off the guards in a sudden fury, smashing one in the head with closed fists, kicking the other in the face. He rushes for the door. Mistake! As his body passes out of the hypothermic field, he tumbles to his knees, his skin turning gray as he begins to wither and die.
Look at him, Stu. How do you like your bad guy? Medium or well done?
The guards stand over him, laughing as he crawls back over the filed threshold. His color begins to return to normal.
Get used to it. You're gonna be here a very long time.
Freeze looks up at the guard who stands now at the wall sink, washing his hands a beat. Then, Freeze smiles.
I'm afraid not. You see, the means of my liberation is in your hands. Sadly, you will not live to see it.
Exterior Gotham Alley night. The entrance to an abandoned Turkish bathhouse. Ivy and Bane approach a boarded up portal.
Batface and Birdbrain turned out to be more resistant to my love dust than I expected. No matter, I'll give them a stronger dose. Next time, they'll literally be dying for me.
Bane smashes through the wooden boards with joined fists, 2x4s splintering like balsa. They disappear inside. Interior Blossom Street Turkish baths night. Abandoned. Mid-Eastern furniture crumbles. Slaves and sycophants cover the walls, weeping color.
A fixer-upper, yes, but with a certain homey charm.
That's when the shadows in the cave begin to move. One slips across the doorway. More appear on all sides, encroaching.
Ah, a minus. Current tenants.
One figure steps into a column of moonlight, pale, the toughest of urban predators. These are a gang of punks called the Golems.
Hello, pretty.
Hello yourself. I love this place. I hope it's priced to sell.
We love you. You look good enough to eat.
Oh, that I am. Come and get me, if you can.
The Golems close in. Ivy slams the activation stud on Bane's chest. Bane, close. Venom is pumped from his backpack through the tubes on his back into his skull. The Golems attack, but Bane hurls them off like animals, kick, and beats them, tossing them to walls until the survivors race away.
For the strong, silent type, you're most persuasive. Let's redecorate. First, the light is all wrong.
Bane rips a hanging board from the ceiling, the old wooden planks tumbling to the floor, sudden moonlight streaming in from above.
Also, what is this floor?
Bane stomps the floor, now revealing the dirt beneath.
Au naturel. Still, I've always hankered for something on the water.
Bane smashes a water main with his foot, irrigating the soil.
Now, a little color. It took God 7 days to create paradise.
Ivy withdraws a handful of tiny seeds from Bane's satchel.
Let's see if I can do better.
Ivy drops the tiny plants on the ground. They begin to sprout into vines that spawn fast budding flowers. Ivy
Come
lifts
on,
the Welcome to
babies.
Gotham bauble in her hand.
Grow for mummy. Bane, I found a fellow who strikes my fancy. A cool customer, yes. Icy demeanor, no question, but I detect a certain ruthless charm I may be able to use to my advantage.
Interior Wayne Manor living room night. Candlelit. A table set for two. Alfred fills Bruce's wine. Goblet walks away. Wine goblin walks away. His forehead beads of sweat. A man hiding pain. Bruce, point of view, across the table sits Ivy. She licks her lips.
Bruce.
Bruce blinks, looks again. Not Ivy at all. It's Julie.
You're not even listening to me.
What? I'm sorry, you were saying?
We've been going out over a year now, and okay, here it goes. Bruce, I want to spend my life with you.
Ivy saunters up behind Bruce, runs her hands down his chest. Bruce rises, shaking off the vision, goes over to Julie.
Julie, I'm not the marrying kind. There are things about me you wouldn't understand.
I know you're a dedicated bachelor, that you've had your wild nights.
Wild doesn't exactly cover it.
But there's nothing you've done under the cover of darkness I couldn't learn to understand.
I wouldn't bet on that.
I'm betting on you. You'll make someone a good husband one day, but I can't wait around forever. Don't answer now. Just think it over. Here's some food for thought.
They kiss passionately. Bruce opens his eyes. He's kissing Ivy. He recoils, but it's only Julie before him, looking up, puzzled.
Who's Ivy?
What?
You just called me Ivy. Who's Ivy?
I wish I knew. Just read the script.
Interior Batcave, Robin's costume vault night. Loud music, various magazine covers of Robin. Dick is at his computer terminal, staring at a monitor. Monitor close, a news photo of the flower ball survivors.
Enhanced detail 14 to 19.
A corner of the screen is highlighted. The image expands. Ivy.
Who are you?
An alarm sounds. The screen suddenly changes to an image of Barbara clipping out her window, or rappelling down an exterior wall.
Alert. Unauthorized motion within specified parameters.
Got ya.
Dick is up fast, heading for the door. Interior Wayne Manor garage night. Minutes later, Barbara has donned her leathers once again. She mounts the competition bike, kick-starts the engine, peeling out into the night. Dick rolls another racer out of the hiding in the shadows, pulls on his racking helmet. He kicks his engine and starts after her. Interior Gotham Alley night. Groups of motorcycle gangs have gathered. Each is represented by a single racer, leather-clad, costume, dyed hair, pierced faces, boys and girls for whom speed is a drug. The street's their home. Barbara pulls up her bike. A rider, banker, looks her up and down.
What's the entry fee?
$250.
Barbara nods, hands the cash. Another biker, Spike, steps forward.
You got a handle?
Folks call me 3Jump.
You're the babe won the tunnel run 2 nights ago. That was trike racing. This is the big time. Maybe you should ride my hog instead.
Barbara smiles.
How about a side bet?
As Spike and Barbara move in line beside the other racers, another helmeted racer emerges from the shadows to pay his entry fee. His face hidden by his helmet, Barbara can't see that it's Dick. The racers are all helmeted, are in their starting positions. Engines are revved. Banker raises a pistol in the air and fires. Bikers shoot into the street. Some go over the tops of cars, others across the tops of stoops. Barbara watches as Biker beside her careens into an exploding pile of trash cans. 2 bikers are going neck and neck towards a racing truck. They split at the last instant, fly up off parked cars, then hit the ground, one spinning out, the other taking a position at the front of the pack. Barbara, Spike, 2 others hold the lead, leaving the rest in the dust. One of the bikers hits an oil skid, flies into a fireball. The finish line is a series of flashing yellow warning beacons atop the incomplete construction of a drawbridge in the near distance. The race is down to 3. Barbara, Spike, and a third biker, all racing now onto the bridge, riveted steel beneath their wheels. The finish line is coming up fast, and just beyond the line of flashing cones, an abyss separating the two as yet unconnected sides of the bridge. The trick is to cross the finish line first, but not so fast you can't brake before going over the edge into the water below. Spike is trying to keep up, but he's coming up on the finish line too fast for his taste.
Crazy broad.
He hits his brakes, slowing, falling out of position. Barbara looks across to see the racer on the other side. Barbara can't see his face, but it's Dick. The finish line is coming up fast. Instead of braking, both gun their engines. The finish line close. Barbara flies over the line. Dick a hair behind her, and then both shoot over the edge, off the unfinished bridge, into the air, soaring high above the abyss. Dick's front wheel hits the metal roadway on the other side of the gap, spinning rubber catching steel. Barbara's front wheel hits the edge badly, rolling backward. Dick spins over his shoulder, sees what's happening. Barbara's bike is losing purchase, sliding backwards over the edge. Dick ditches his steel-moving bike and helmet, rolling off on Tuck's shoulder, leaping towards the edge as Barbara's bike finally slips. She and her hog tumbling towards into the abyss. Dick's jump sends him over the edge, hands extended, feet catching the lip of the bridge, hand grabbing Barbara's ankle, her bike plummeting beneath her as her helmet falls into the water below. Dick hangs by one foot, holding a dangling Barbara by her ankle.
So, this is where you hang out.
Exterior Gotham Bridge night. Barbara stands in the background, receiving her winnings from Banker and Spike. Dick rides his bike as he approaches.
You're muted. I could have made it, you know. I didn't need your help.
Whatever you say, lady. It's all in a day's work for me.
Barbara tries to hand Dick her winnings.
This is to replace the bike I lost. I'll get you the rest.
Keep it.
Of course. Dick Grayson, ward of the fabulously wealthy Bruce Wayne. Why would you need a few $100s?
Hey, what's your problem?
I guess the truth is I'm just not comfortable with the idle rich, even when they try to act like heroes.
Dick pats the back of his seat.
Well, you better get comfortable real fast, sister. 'Cause we've only got one bike and it's a long walk home.
Interior Wayne Manor garage. Dick and Barbara dismount.
I started racing after my parents died. There was something about the speed, the danger, that took me out of myself, that made the hurt go away. You wouldn't understand.
You'd be surprised.
Street racing isn't exactly an acceptable major at Oxbridge. They kicked me out. It doesn't matter. I've won enough money to do what I've always dreamed.
Just don't tell me you're hoping to run away and join the circus.
They head towards the entrance to the house.
Alfred has supported me my whole life. Now I'm going to pay him back. I'm going to pay him back and liberate him from this dismal life of servitude.
What are you talking about?
Servants, masters, it's ridiculous. Alfred is the sweetest, most noble man alive, and he's subjugated all his life and dreams to someone else.
Interior Wayne Manor foyer. Walking. Continuous.
Alfred and Bruce are like family.
Paying someone to prepare your meals and do your laundry and clean your dishes, you call that family?
Alfred's happy here.
Happy? You honestly don't know, do you? How he's hiding the pain all the time? Alfred's sick.
They've reached the main stair. Dick stares at her puzzled.
Look at his skin. Can't you see it?
And with that, Barbara disappears upstairs. Dick stares after her.
Alfred's not sick.
Bruce steps from the shadows. Sits now at the foot of the steps.
He's dying, and I can't deal with it.
But he's never said a word.
You know Alfred. He'd never say anything, but I can tell. Until you came along, Alfred was the only family I ever had. Without him, I don't know how I would have survived. He saved my life, Dick, and I've never told him.
Talk to him, Bruce. There's nothing worse than losing someone without telling them how you feel.
I'm scared, Dick. For the first time in my life, I'm really scared.
Interior Arkham Asylum freezes cell night. Freeze stands within the antithermic field, crafting a tiny ice sculpture of his wife. He lifts the miniature gearworks from an alarm clock, places the ice sculpture atop of it. The statuette beginning to turn, he covers the figure with the drinking glass.
Hey, Icehead, you got a visitor.
Wider, a guard stands by the door.
Your sister is here to see you.
Freeze close, puzzled.
Sister?
The second guard enters, followed by a woman in a cloak. None other than Poison Ivy. Interior Arkham lockup night. A tiny basement room with a single barred window where prisoners' effects are kept. Mannequins display familiar costumes. Jokers, Riddlers, Freezes. A guard sits against the wall watching TV. Suddenly, two fists smash through the cement wall and grab the chair, wrenching the seated guard through the wall in a storm of dust. Bane enters, walks to Freeze's suit. Interior Freeze's cell. The two guards stand by the console as the door seals behind Pam.
Don't mind us, ma'am. You can converse freely.
But Pam isn't interested in Freeze, instead walks to the guards.
Oh, I don't mind you at all.
Pam begins to saunter around the room, shedding her cloak to reveal her skin-tight Ivy costume.
You're not that attractive. Pretty average, I'd say. But your fantasies aren't average, are they?
Interior Arkham hallway. Alarms. Bane rolling Freeze's suit in a shopping cart, barrels down the hallway, knocking guards and doctors into the walls. Interior Freeze's cell. Pam's saunter has brought her back to the two mesmerized guards.
Men. The most absurd of all God's creatures. We give you life, and we can take it back just as easily.
She holds on one guard's chin in each hand, leans in to kiss them.
What if I told you one kiss from me would kill you?
Right.
Whatever.
I really am to die for.
She kisses first one, then the other. They choke, fall, dead.
Impressive.
Well, I, my most unabominable snowman, have been impressed by you. In fact, I propose a pairing, so I'm here to set you free.
An enticing offer. But what does the lady want in return?
Let's cool it for now. There's someone I want you to meet.
Ivy presses a button and the door slides open. Bane runs in, wheeling Freeze's suit. Ivy seals the door behind him.
Ah, a laundry service that delivers.
Bane rolls the cart across the cryonic field. Freeze begins to dress.
I love that belt. What are you, about a 50 big and tall?
I always go a size smaller. Makes me look slimmer.
Mm.
Freeze point of view. His watch-like status display shows his power supply, dangerously low. Auxiliary power only. Freeze opens his sleeve compartments. Empty.
They've confiscated my generator diamonds. I'm running on empty.
The shouts of approaching guards. The flame of a laser torch begins to cut around the side of the front door.
Bane, an exit, please!
Ivy hits the venom pump. Bane lifts his fist and tries to smash the far wall. It doesn't break.
Reinforced steel? Not good.
The shouts of more guards coming down the hall. Freeze reaches for his holster. Empty.
No gun. How disarm me.
I wonder if I can get a cell with a view of the gardens.
Dear Daisy, don't despair.
Freeze walks to a sink set into the cell wall. He turns on the water. Freeze cracks his gauntlet seal. Cryogas hissing out.
Always winterize your pipes. Ah!
Freeze aims the gas jet at the spigot. Pipes around the room begin to freeze, bulging with cold, frozen water within them, splitting metal, rushing towards cracking the stone wall. Exterior Arkham Asylum night. The wall of Freeze's turreted isolation tower begins to crack. Interior Arkham Asylum Freeze's cell. The wall is split apart, revealing the night beyond. Bane, Ivy, and Freeze look down at the rushing river far below.
I hate heights.
The cell door flies off its hinges.
You'll hate prison more.
The three villains jump into Arkham Asylum night. Three tiny figures plummeted towards the fast rushing waters below. Interior Wayne Manor night walking. Bruce walks with Alfred through the old house, shutting out lights.
Are you well, old friend?
Alfred stops, stares into his charge's eyes, then turns away. I am as well as I can be expected.
Alfred, I know you're sick. I can get you the best doctors.
I've seen the best doctors. A gentleman does not discuss his health. It's not civilized. I hope I've taught you at least that much, young man. Bruce bites back a bitter smile. He knows better than to push him when he's like this.
Have you ever regretted your life working here, Alfred?
Attending to heroes? No, sir. My only regret is that I was never able to be out there with you.
Not all heroes wear masks.
Alfred smiles.
Alfred, if I've never told you, I just want to say,
Yes? Bruce looks away, fighting tears, unable to say the words. Bruce, point of view out the window, young Bruce plays hide and seek with Alfred. The old butler gone behind a hedge, then back again, back to sleep.
Freeze has escaped.
Out the window, the bat signal shines in the night sky. Interior limo night, filled with flowers. Bane sits at the wheel. Ivy and Freeze in back, watching the Snowy Cones ice cream factory surrounded now by a police perimeter.
My reserves are exhausted. I must have the gems that power my suit.
You are looking unseasonably hot. Let's go inside and grab your rocks.
The Batmobile screeches up. Batman and Robin race inside.
In my weakened state, I am no match for the bat and the bird.
You leave Batman and Robin to me.
Freeze looks skeptical. Ivy smiles seductively.
Trust me. Vegetable magnetism.
Fine. When I retrieve my diamonds, you and Meatloaf will bring my wife to your lair. She's frozen in...
Hold it. You never said anything about a wife, frozen or otherwise.
Freeze moves fast, grabbing her neck, smashing her against the seat back. Bane moves in, but Ivy shoos him off with a gesture.
You will rescue my wife.
Hey.
Ah!
Okay. It's Ivy to the rescue. Now, where do I find your brittle bride?
Interior Freeze's lair, police tagged and taped. Batman and Robin examine Freeze's lab. Commissioner Gordon enters, drops a video disc in a console player.
There's no sign he came back here after the escape. We pulled this off the surveillance cameras at Arkham.
Monitor close. The three villains daring aerial escape. Batman hits a switch. The image of Ivy fills the screen.
She's definitely part of this. It's weird. For a while, Ivy was all I could think about. But then,
I know. The feeling just vanished.
I can't believe we were fighting over a bad guy.
Bad, yes. Guy, no. This is one majorly beautiful, evil person.
I'm totally over her. Positively.
Me too. Great stems, though.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Batman has gone to the walk-in freezer. Examines a wall of food. He lifts a frozen dinner. The secret vault swings open.
How did you...
Open sesame. Chicken.
Akiva Goldsman, Academy Award winner. Interior Freeze's vault. Batman and Robin enter. Examine Nora Freeze in her sarcophagus.
She's still alive. He's adapted his freezing technology to reverse McGregor syndrome. He's even found a cure for the early stages of the disease.
Can he save her?
No, her case is too advanced, but maybe someday with more research.
Fairy-like spirals begin winding through the room. Batman and Robin, both dazed, follow the dust through a snaking passage. Wrench open to service doors to reveal interior Snowy Cone's factory industrial basement. Bane stands atop a staircase overlooking the industrial basement, crisscrossed by catwalks above giant mixing vats and conveyor belts. He switches the switch. He hits the switch. Switches the switch. The machinery whirring to life.
No beauty.
Just the beast.
Batman rushes the monster. Bane sideswipes him, sending him flying off the stairs towards the basement below. Robin uses Batman's distraction to smash into Bane's chest. Robin bounces off, landing hard atop the landing.
Ouch. Any more at home like you?
The two begin to fight atop the stairs. Interior Snowy Cone's ice cream factory. The front doors blow open. Gordon and the cops stare up to face Mr. Freeze standing atop the steps.
I hate uninvited guests.
The cops race up the stairs towards Freeze. He pulls a lever marked coolant gas. Vents around the room begin to hiss blue freezing gas. Blue freezing gas. Interior Snowy Cone's industrial basement. Batman has landed in a giant ice cream mixer. He rolls clear of the giant's stirring arm, flipping out of the vat to face Poison Ivy. She smiles, blows a handful of dust into his face.
I must confess, the combination of heroic daring do and an anatomically correct rubber suit puts fire in a girl's lips.
She leans in to kiss him, but Batman stares a beat, shakes it off.
Why do all the gorgeous ones have to be homicidal maniacs? Is it me?
Batman point of view. Bane is spinning Robin over his head. Batman races up the steps towards his partner. Interior Snowy Cone's factory. The cops are fighting through the hissing coolant gas towards Freeze at the top of the stairs. Freeze reaches for another lever.
Why don't you boys slip into something more comfortable, huh?
The icy steps close, snap into a steep, curving ramp. Freeze punches the lead cop backwards into a shivering cohort. The police tumbling in a slipping pile down the floor below. Interior industrial basement, top of stairs. Bane hurls Robin down the steps. Batman smashes into Bane. Both falling off the platform, taking their fight to a catwalk below. Interior basement floor. Robin stands behind him. A giant miller's wheel carries planks of wood through a chopper and back up as pallets of popsicle sticks.
Here, pretty birdie.
Robin spins to face Ivy. She blows a pile of dust into his face. She begins advancing, backing him towards the chopper blades.
Give it up. If you threw yourself...
At you, Polly want a kiss.
She leans in, lips pursed. On the catwalk overhead, Bane's mighty blows back Batman toward the edge of the catwalk. Robin looks from Ivy to Batman, grabs a strut on the miller's wheel, the giant cog lifting him up towards the catwalk and his partner.
I must be losing my touch.
Interior Snowy Cone's factory. Freeze is striding through the mist towards his diamond vault. More cops rush from him the hissing gas. Freeze moves like lightning, whipping billy clubs from the holsters of two police, using them like disconnected nunchucks, knocking the cops unconscious in a flurry of slams and jabs.
Stick around.
A cop hits the wall. Beside him a button reads, "Emergency heat." He slams the stud. Filaments coming to life. The room glowing red. Freeze's watch begins to flash. No power. Interior catwalk. Bane kicks Batman off the end of the catwalk as Robin leaps onto the villain. Robin and Bane begin fighting again. Interior conveyor belt. Batman lands on his back on a moving belt that is feeding ancient tubes of ice cream into a clown-shaped flash freezer. Ivy jumps atop the Cape Crusader. Their faces close.
You bring out the animal in me.
I should have brought my leash.
Enough sweet talk.
With that, Ivy blows another handful of dust into Batman's face. Ivy licks her lips, leans in for a kiss. At the last second, Batman averts his face, wrenching Ivy to the floor just ahead of the clown's freezing maw.
You're going to jail.
I'm a lover, not a fighter. That's why every Poison Ivy action figure comes complete with him!
Bane stands atop a giant storage vat, a dazed Robin hanging in his hand. Bane tosses the boy aside, slide, feet first, down a conveyor belt, and double fist Batman, crashing into the wall.
I'm off to find Bachelor number 2. Try not to make a mess when you die.
Interior Snowy Cone's ice cream factory. The room is growing even hotter. Freeze staggers towards his diamond vault, his flesh turning gray. With his last strength, Freeze wrenches open his safe, filling his sleeve power compartments with diamonds, his color returning.
Chilled to perfection.
Freeze hits his watch, the villain now suddenly encased in ice. Wider, the cops are warming back into action. Draw guns, fire, bullets bouncing off Freeze's armor of ice, ricocheting into the walls.
Superman, eat your heart out.
Freeze turns towards his weapons locker. Interior industrial basement. Bane smashes Batman into the wall, advances. At the last second, Batman fires a bat club, hitting Bane in the head, stunning him. Batman point of view. Ivy's closing in on Robin. Interior Snowy Cone's ice cream factory. The cops rush Freeze. The villain whips a small icing jewel from his weapons locker. The floor glows, suddenly covered with ice. The cops begin slipping on the grassy floor in classic Keystone style, ending up sprawled on their backs. Freeze stands, pulsing with power. This icing cannon now under one arm. He lifts his pistol in his free hand, points at the police.
All right, coppers, freeze!
He fires! Interior industrial basement. Ivy is Robin up against a giant vat.
Stop living in the shadow of the big bad bat. You don't need him. You deserve your own legend, your own bright, shining signal in the sky. Let me guide you. Let me touch you. Kiss you.
He can't resist. About to kiss her. A tiny batarang hits his cheek.
Remember the victim at the airport. Toxins introduced through the mouth.
What are you talking about?
Why is she so desperate to kiss us? I'm betting her lips are poison.
A poison kiss. You have some real issues with women, you know that? You just couldn't stand that she was about to kiss me. Couldn't stand that. Something might be mine and not yours, could you?
Robin shoves him harder still. In frustration, Batman delivers a fantastic roundhouse, sending Robin smashing into a wall.
Damn.
Batman tries to help Robin up. Robin shrugs him off, stands.
Ivy's right. I don't need you. I'm going solo. I want my own signal in the sky.
Batman looks around. Ivy and Bane are gone.
What happened? How'd they get away?
But the Cape Crusader doesn't have an answer. Interior Freeze's hidden chamber. Ivy enters through the snaking passage. She turns to face Freeze's wife, still in her frozen sarcophagus.
So sorry, Miss Frigidaire. I've never really been good with competition.
Ivy pulls the main power switch. Status lights flash red. Interior Blossom Street Turkish baths dawn. Transformed. Sunlight streams in through the broken ceiling. The ground thrives, now a rich garden. Ivy enters, strolls through the gardens into a small anteroom, where Freeze sits over his freezing engine, having zapped the walls with his pistol, the room now a world of ice.
Make yourself right at home.
Where's my wife?
There was nothing I could do. Batman deactivated her. She's dead.
You lie! Oh!
Freeze lunges for Ivy. Bane steps between them. Mistake. Freeze hurls him across the room. Ivy stills Bane with a gesture.
I'm sorry.
Ivy reaches up, holding the snowflake necklace between her and the looming Freeze. Freeze stops, takes the chain in hand.
Their bones will turn to ice! Their blood will freeze in my hands!
Kill them, of course. But why stop there? Why should only Batman and Robin die while the society that created them goes unpunished?
Ivy lifts the frozen Gotham bauble off the ice table, turns it over in her hand absent-mindedly. Freeze stares at her.
Yes, I shall repay the world for sentencing me to life without the warmth of a human comfort. I will blanket the city in endless winter. First Gotham, then the world.
Just what I had in mind. Everything dead on Earth except us. A chance for Mother Nature to start again. Plants and flowers are the oldest species on the planet, yet they're defenseless against man. Sorry, hun, this is for science. Behold the dawn of a new age.
From a canister labeled Project Gilgamesh, Ivy removes a savage, otherworldly plant with hissing fangs.
I have created a race of plants with the strength of the deadliest animals. Once you've frozen mankind, my mutants will overrun the globe. The Earth will be a brave new world of only plants, and we shall rule them, for we will be the only two people left in the world.
Adam and Evil.
Freeze lifts the Gotham bauble, holds it on his palm, his gauntlet glowing blue, tiny Gotham freezing. He crushes the city.
You will distract the bat and the bird while I prepare to freeze the Gotham.
Can't we just ice them along with the rest of the citizenry?
That is far too merciful. Batman will watch his beloved Gotham perish. Then I will kill them.
As a team, the Dunsley duo protect each other, but the Robin is young, impetuous. If I could get him alone.
One kiss and you can lift the mask from his lifeless face. Their secret identities would be revealed. But how the best should bait a bird?
The way to a boy's heart is through his ego. What strapping young hero could resist his very own signal?
Inspired, Miss Ivy.
I'm hungry. I think I'll have poultry.
Dear Wayne Manor, upstairs hallway evening. Barbara and Dick stand talking to a doctor.
It's stage 1 of McGregor syndrome. I'm sorry. All we can do is make him comfortable.
Pushing through a partially open door in the background. Interior Wayne Manor, Alfred's room evening. Alfred lays on his bed. Bruce in black tie kneels beside him.
I've spent my whole life trying to beat back death. What good are all my heroics now if I can't save you?
Everyone dies, Master Bruce. There's no defeat in that. Victory comes in fighting for what we know is right while we still live. Bruce looks past Alfred. There in the adjacent suite, a young Alfred finishes reading to a young Bruce. Shuts out the light. Shuts out the light. Back to scene.
I love you, old man.
Remember this, and remember it always. I'm proud of you, and I love you too, son. They embrace. Felt it. Interior Wayne Manor, foyer. The doorbell's ringing. Dick follows Bruce downstairs, the billionaire donning his coat.
McGregor syndrome. That's what Freeze's wife had.
Yes, but Alfred's condition is less severe. Freeze's research says he cured a case like Alfred's. It just doesn't say how.
I checked the medical database. No one else is even close.
I'm late for the dedication. Then I go after Freeze and Ivy alone.
Like hell you do.
Dick, don't push me right now.
Or what? No one can capture Ivy but the big bad bat? Crap. You just want her for yourself, don't you? Answer me. Damn it.
Yes. Yes, I want her so badly I can taste it. That's the whole point. Look at us. Orphans, isolated, obsessed to the exclusion of life, love, family. We're perfect targets. She's done something to us, got us fighting over her somehow.
Hail the all-knowing Bruce Wayne. Here's what I know. She loves me, not you, and it's driving you crazy. It's why you stopped us from kissing. Because if you can't have her, nobody can.
She's clouded your mind. You're not thinking straight.
Oh, but I am. For the first time in a long time, I'm through living in your shadow. All that ends right now.
Dick walks away. Bruce stares after him. The bell rings again. The front door swings open. Julie enters. A limo sits out front.
I've been ringing forever. Where's Alfred?
But Bruce doesn't answer. Interior Wayne Manor, Alfred's quarters, night. Barbara stands over the old man.
I'm sorry. I was too late.
Too late for what, dear child?
I came to give you your freedom, a chance to live the life you choose, the same gift you gave me.
Oh, I have been a part of the greatest adventure ever known. I have found purpose here and the family I could never have. Alfred smiles, is hit by a sudden wave of pain. Oh, God, hurts. You must do something for me. Alfred takes her hand and puts an envelope in her grasp. Find my brother Wilfred. Give him this. I have duties he must fulfill in my stead. Only family can be trusted.
What is it?
It is the hearts of two good men whom I've had the honor of calling son. Take it, child, but I implore you, never open it. You look so like your mother. And with that, his eyes close.
Uncle Alfred?
Interior Gotham Observatory night. A black tie gala celebrating the telescope unveiling. Pamela Isley stands in the center of the room, alone. Her drab outfit and demeanor make her anything but a conversation magnet. Bruce and Julie enter, smiling through the storm of flashbulbs, and the crowd of press being greeting guests. Commissioner Gordon steps away, reaches for a champagne off a tray.
I've always wondered, where does that big old bat light come from?
Pamela stands before Gordon. She flips open a compact, blows a pile of love dust, the tiny swirl catching the cop in the face. A bit more hitting Bruce, who stands behind the commissioner. Gordon close, stunned and suddenly in love.
It's on top of the police headquarters.
Pam takes Gordon's arm, leads him like a puppy into an alcove.
I'd just love to see it, but you probably don't have access.
Why, I'm commissioner of police. I have the keys right here.
Bruce, still standing with Julie amidst the press and well-wishers, seems suddenly distracted, begins looking around the room. As if summoned by an audible call, Bruce peels away from a perplexed Julie, begins searching the crowd, a man on a quest. Pam as Gordon against the alcove wall, her fingers slip into his pocket.
On second thought, you're way too old for me.
She pushes the stunned Gordon away, spins, heads towards the door, tossing something in her hand. Gordon's keys! A hand grabs her. Pam spins to face Bruce Wayne.
Dr. Isley, it was like I could feel you in the room. You're enchanting, gorgeous, the most beautiful one I've ever seen. If you're free this evening.
Bruce, what are you doing?
I think he's asking me on a date in an awkward, stammering sort of way.
I've heard of commitment anxiety, but this is insane. You're not really propositioning another woman right in front of me, are you?
Well, define propositioning.
The press has noticed the conflict. Now surround Bruce, Julie, and Pam.
Make a choice, Bruce, her or me.
Well, her.
You were right. I get it. You're not the marrying kind. You've made your point. Goodbye, Bruce Wayne.
Physical perfection, charm, and wealth tossed over for a dowdy spinster? How do you explain your behavior?
I can't, but perhaps tonight over dinner, I've just had an opening.
Maybe your witless playboy persona works on every bimbo du jour, but I am not the least bit titillated by your attentions. So back off, or I'll have you in court quicker than you can spell sexual harassment. Got me?
Wider, folks are staring, murmur to each other. Bruce is chagrined.
Does that mean dinner's a no?
Pam has already pushed past him out the door.
It's just I sort of, kind of love you.
Interior Blossom Street Turkish baths, Freeze's chamber. Freeze stands, putting on his suit. He snaps his fingers. A legion of icemen step out of the swirling mist. Freeze lifts his freezing engine.
Bundle up, boys. There's a storm coming.
Freeze and his battalion head into the night. Exterior police headquarters, roof, night. A giant door swings open. Bane and Ivy emerge onto the roof.
Let there be light.
Bane walks to the doormat. Bat signal tears it from its shackles. Interior Wayne Manor, Barbara's room, night. Barbara enters, lost in grief. She sits turns Alfred's envelope over in her hand. A long beat. She withdraws a single silver CD.
Only family can be trusted. Well,
Barbara slides the disc into her computer.
Access denied. Protected files.
perhaps you didn't give me your genes, but you gave me your heart.
Barbara begins hacking the disc, trying to break the code. Interior Wayne Manor hallway night. Bruce, still in his tux, enters, sits at the main back computer console, distraught, starting into the darkness of the cave. A younger Alfred stands with an adolescent Bruce, working together over the original Batsuit prototype. Bruce close as the images dissipate to memory.
Alfred, old friend, I could use your help right now.
Right here, sir. Bruce spins, stunned. A monitor flickers into light. The words computer simulation flash under an image of Alfred. I anticipated a moment might arrive where I became incapacitated. As such, I programmed my brain algorithms into the back computer and created a virtual simulation. Bruce stares a beat, then he smiles.
It's good to see you.
What seems to be the problem?
Women.
That, sir, does not compute.
First, Ivy had an intoxicating effect on both Dick and me. Tonight, my feelings spread to someone else.
Specify, please.
Pamela Isley. I was so attracted to her, I couldn't reason clearly. I still can't. She used to work for Wayne Enterprises. Find a file.
Coming online now, sir. A spinning Isley appears on the monitor.
What was her area of research?
Study and report titles scroll up the side of the image. Advanced botany, DNA splicing, recombinant animal plant patterns, pheromone extraction.
Pheromones.
Glandular secretions from animals, scents that create powerful emotions, fear, rage.
Passion, of course. Find the photo of Ivy after the flower ball.
A spinning Ivy appears behind the spinning Isley.
Deconstruct and resolve.
Schematics of various features, finger and retina and prints, height, weight are highlighted and compared. All match.
Amazing what a good wig and contact lenses can do. And I thought Clark Kent got away with murder just wearing those glasses.
Suddenly, alert panels start flashing. Alarm sound.
What is it?
It appears, sir, that someone has stolen the bat signal. Interior Wayne Manor night. Barbara is still hacking away at the disk.
Access code accepted.
This better be one hell of a secret.
She hits a key. Pictures begin to reflect in the dark of her eye.
Oh my god.
Exterior Gotham Street. Freeze's trucks screech to a stop. Freeze and Bane at the helm.
No matter what they tell you, it's the size of your gun that counts.
Panna! The giant telescope of the Gotham Observatory aims into the night. Camera continues up to the heavens as the bat signal appears in the sky. Then something amazing happens. The familiar beacon turns blood red, the shape within changing from a bat to bird. The Robin signal shines over Gotham. Interior Batcave night. The Robin signal glows on the central monitor. Wider, Bruce stands in civvies, talking to Dick, who is suiting up.
That's no bat light. It's a bird call.
Her name is Pamela Isley. I saw her talking to Gordon. She must have stolen his keys, altered the signal.
And she did it all for me. For love.
She's infected us with some kind of pheromone extract.
Is that it, Bruce? I'm under some magic spell.
She wants to kill you.
You'd say anything to keep me away from her. To keep her for yourself.
You once said to me that being part of a team means trusting your partner, that sometimes counting on someone else is the only way to win. Do you remember?
Dick doesn't answer.
You weren't just talking about being partners, you were talking about being a family. Well, part of our family is dying. I'm not going to lose everyone I've ever loved. So I'm asking you now, friend, partner, brother, will you trust me?
Interior Observatory, tower, platform. The scientist and his associates stand amidst the debris from the party, testing the telescope. A tremendous smashing. On the floor below, Freeze and Bane enter.
Hi. Sorry about the door. Is the party over?
Bane begins pulling charges from his satchel and setting them around the room.
Who the hell is this nutball?
Freeze points up, fires a cryonic blast at him, turning him to ice.
That's Mr. Nutball to you. Have a set of bookends. You go like this.
Freeze pantomimes the sound with an expression of terror for the associate. Oh no! Freeze goes into a coughing fit. The associate, terrified, imitates Freeze's move.
No, move your hands up higher. No hint, more fear. Excellent.
Freeze fires another blast, freezing the associate in the same position as the scientist.
A match pair. Sometimes I exceed even my wildest expectations.
Freeze smiles at the mighty telescope.
If revenge is a dish best served cold, then put it on your Sunday finest. It's time to feast.
Interior Batcave night, dark, dormant. The automatic activation sequence engages. Ambient lights come on. Computers flicker into life. The giant Batmobile pedestal begins to rise. On it, no car, but a single figure standing now in the center of the cave. It's Barbara! Barbara close, eyes wide with awe. Barbara walks to the main terminal of the Batcomputer, touches the console. The Alfred simulation appears on screen.
Uncle Alfred?
In spirit only, I'm afraid.
The boys need help.
The image of Alfred stares at her for a beat, then smiles. Your mother would be proud. Main screen close, flickers into life, costume schematics turn. Forgive my being personal, dear girl, but I must know your size. Exterior Blossom Street, Turkish baths. Robin arrives at the entrance to the dark baths, lush, inviting, mysterious. He passes the giant bird signal chained to the door, the spotlight shutting out as he disappears inside. Interior Blossom Street, Turkish baths. Giant floral fans spin, leaf curtains undulate. Fruits burst with color. In the center of the cave, a giant bed of buds. Ivy touches the buds, all instantly blossom.
Is your thumb the only part of you that's green?
Ivy looks up. A figure stands in the darkness. She smiles.
You'll just have to find out.
Ivy extends her hand. Robin steps out of the shadows. Interior Gotham Observatory, tower platform night. Freeze attaches the freezing engine to the telescope. Bane finishes laying his explosive charges, joins Freeze.
Big family? Like pets? Don't talk much, do you?
Freeze engages the engine. Suddenly, the entire pedestal is washed in a blue wave of freezing cryonic energy. Exterior observatory night. The ambient ice wave spreads down, encasing the old structure. The nearby banks whiten, turning into snow cliffs. The river freezing into an icy channel. The observatory is transformed into a fortress of ice. Interior Batcave. A series of shots. Boots are pulled on. A slim utility belt locks. A cape whips over a leaf female back. Interior Blossom Street, Turkish baths. Ivy sits on the bed, draws Robin down beside her. Face is close.
I'm glad you came. I can't breathe without you.
I want us to be together, but I need you to know you're serious about turning over a new leaf. I need a sign.
How about dangerous curves, slippery when wet?
Of trust? Tell me your plan.
Kiss me and I'll tell you.
Tell me and I'll kiss you.
Freeze has turned the new telescope into a freezing gun. He's about to turn Gotham into an ice cube.
I've got to stop him.
One kiss, my love. For luck.
Robin can't resist. They kiss. Ivy pulls back, holds his gaze.
Bad luck, I'm afraid. It's time to die, little bird.
What do you mean?
You should have heeded your pointy-eared pal. These lips can be murder.
Then you never loved me?
Love you? I loathe your bipedal arrogance, your animal superiority. My only joy is knowing that even now my poison kiss is sucking the life from your ape-like face.
I'm not saying I told you so.
Ivy spins. From the shadows, a figure emerges. Batman!
You're too late. Say bye-bye, birdie.
Sorry to disappoint you, but rubber lips are immune to your charms.
Robin peels a rubber coating from his mouth. Ivy stares in dismay.
Robin and I found the cure to your evil spell. That's teamwork.
Yes. Then he screams in rage. She shoves Robin into the lily pool. The boy wonder immediately tangled into predatory vines. More vines wrench Batman hanging upside down to the ceiling, the stalks squeezing our heroes.
Sorry, boys. My vines have a crush on you.
Ivy begins leaping across lily pads towards the exit.
Gotta run. So many people to kill, so little time.
The skylight explodes. The room fills with moonlight. A figure comes flipping down from above. Long cape, tall ears, black leather. Batgirl.
We're about to become compost.
Ivy and Batgirl begin a furious martial arts battle. Choreography to come. Batman pulls a bat knife, begins cutting himself free. Robin struggles to untangle himself from the aquatic vines. Batgirl is fighting Ivy, feet flying, hands moving like lightning.
Using feminine wiles to get what you want, trading on your looks, exploiting men's weaknesses for sex. Read a book, sister. That passive-aggressive crap went out in the 70s. Chicks like you give women a bad name.
Batman deftly slashes through his captive vines. Robin struggles, trying to free himself. Ivy gets the upper hand, backs Batgirl against the wall.
As I told Lady Freeze when I pulled her plug, this is a one-woman show.
I don't think so.
Batgirl grabs Ivy's hair, knocking her out with a knee to the forehead, then Bat cuffs her. Batman cuts himself free, drops to the floor to face Batgirl. Robin pulls himself, dripping from the pool.
And you are?
Batgirl.
That's not awfully PC. How about Batwoman, that person?
Bruce, it's me, Barbara. I found the cave.
We got to get those locks changed.
She knows who we are.
I guess we'll just have to kill her.
Kill her later. We've got work to do.
Three heroes race into the night. Interior Gotham Observatory Telescope Platform Night. Freeze stands on the platform, giant telescope in his hands, approaching sirens.
1 Adam 12! 1 Adam 12! See the mad scientist with the freezing ray!
A squad of cruisers scream up the avenue towards the observatory, their bubble lights flashing.
Cops on the rocks, anyone?
He fires a giant blue beam of cryonic energy at the street below. The cop cars become skidding, screeching cubes of ice. They smash into each other, explode into a pyre of raging flames.
Police are so hot-tempered these days. Don't you agree, Mr. Bay?
Exterior frozen river banks. A sleek one-man ice sail. The bat sled blows out into the frozen water. Robin is at the helm. A modified white Batmobile on rocket skis. The Bat Hammer blasts onto the ice, falling in alongside the Bat sled Batman drives. A single-bladed rocket snow cycle. The Bat Blade whips onto the ice, falling into the attack line. Batgirl helms the craft. The Bat Force blasts upriver towards the icy observatory. Interior Gotham Observatory Telescope Platform Night. Telescope viewfinder close. The Bat vehicles are visible through the lens.
Ivy failed to unmask my dynamic duo. No matter, the bat and the bird are mine at last. Watch Batman as your beloved Gotham freezes and prepare to die because you are next.
Freeze points the telescope downtown. He fires. Exterior, Gotham Street night. Folks walking their dogs, drinking on stoops, kissing against alley walls, mailboxes, lampposts, the pavement itself are all suddenly encased in glistening ice. Exterior observatory riverbanks night.
The bat alien approaches. Iceman, attack!
Freeze's truck bursts through the mist, blasting down the frozen river on blades. Two pairs of icemen hanging from tall lines on skis, machine guns blazing. Interior Bathammer night.
Attack Plan Alpha.
Batman peels left. Exterior Batsled night.
Alpha, Roger.
Robin peels right. Exterior Batblade night.
Alpha, got it. What the hell is Attack Plan Alpha?
Exterior Batsled night.
Divide and conquer.
Robin is flying downriver. One pair of icemen sweep out alongside the truck, heading towards Robin's billowing craft, guns firing. Exterior Batblade night. A second pair of skiing icemen whip towards Batgirl, their guns spitting rounds of shells into the ice around her. Exterior freezes truck. Side-mounted rocket launchers fire towards the Bathammer, blowing holes in the ice. Exterior Bathammer. Batman maneuvers, managing to swerve around the sudden steaming pools. He guns the turbos, heading straight for the truck. Exterior Batsled. The two icemen bearing down on Robin release their tethers, converging on the Batsled, guns firing madly.
Jack.
Robin pulls the boom and the sail luffs. His boat suddenly changes course and the two skiers collide, flying onto the ice.
Boy, I hope Freeze hires these guys by the dozen.
Exterior Batblade. The skiers are closing fast. Batgirl hits a key, and status panel displays a menu of Batblade's special modifications.
Nice extras package.
Panel close. Barbara selects a setting called Ice Cutter. The Batblade scythe peels back, revealing a sharper blade. Batgirl uses her deft driving skills to spin and side skid, her blade sending a wave of frozen ice into the faces of the Icemen, the villains tumbling in backwards somersaults across the ice.
That's what I call a close shave.
Exterior Bathammer. Batman is shooting the center of the frozen river, heading straight for the ice truck, its side guns blazing. Interior Bathammer. Batman hits a control stud. Exterior Bathammer. Two torpedoes shoot out of the Bathammer chases, hitting the frozen river directly in front of Freeze's truck, ice flying skyward in a tremendous explosion. Exterior Freeze truck. The driver can't swerve in time. The hole in the ice dead ahead. Exterior Freeze truck. The truck hits the steaming pool, flipping up nose first and begins to sink into the icy waters. Interior Bathammer. Batman races past the sinking truck, Icemen crawling to safety.
Don't sink and drive.
Exterior Frozen River, under the pulse of Freeze's beams hitting the city. The Bat vehicles fire turbos, closing in on the observatory. Interior Gotham Observatory telescope platform night. Freeze tilts his gun down towards the frozen river below.
Not so fast. Time you cooled your heels.
Freeze fires. Exterior Frozen River night. The frozen channel ahead of the Bat Force is hit by the freezing ray. A giant wall of rock-hard ice forms, blocking the river. Interior Bathammer night. Batman hits a console stud marked Emergency Burn. Exterior Frozen River. The Bathammer engines roar. The Bathammer blowing straight through the frozen wall in an explosion of ice. The Batblade and the Batsled shoots up the face of the ice wall on either side of the Bathammer, soaring over the top of the mountain of snow. Exterior Batsled flying.
Yowza. Nothing but air.
Exterior Batblade flying.
Batgirl, Batgirl, Batgirl.
Exterior Frozen River. The Batsled and the Batblade hit the ice running, whipping in alongside the speeding Bathammer. The Bat vehicles blast towards the observatory. Interior Observatory telescope platform night. Freeze stares at a monitor. The Bat team is now below the observatory at the base of the giant ice cliffs.
Mr. Bane, I finish off the city. You, as they say in showbiz, are on. Take out the boys and kill the kids. Bring me the bot.
A giant clock tower close. 11:49.
We have 11 minutes to stop Freeze and thaw the city.
Pan down. Exterior ice cliffs night. Three tiny figures scale the ice using pitons, and ropes. Push in.
This is easy.
Crime Fighters rule number 1. Never say that.
Why?
The ledge above them. Suddenly a score of ice-climbing thugs pour over the edge on ropes, sliding down, firing their guns madly.
That's why.
A shooter comes flying down a rope, straight towards them, guns blazing. Robin swings wide on his rope, grabbing Batgirl, pulling her out of the line of fire. They hit a snowbank and roll.
Does this mean we're going steady?
Four figures land on the snow beside them, Iceman guns drawn. Exterior ice cliffs night. Batman uses bat pitons to pull himself up onto a ledge just below the observatory. That's when another wave of Icemen descend on him from the mist. Batman reaches for a batarang. A beat, then he smiles.
Let's do this the old-fashioned way.
Batman leaves his batarang belted, begins wailing on the Iceman using only his hands and feet, flying back fists and spinning roundhouse kicks, felling the thugs one after another. Exterior ice cliffs night. Robin and Batgirl move back to back, surrounded now by a band of Icemen. Robin notices a heavily cantilevered overhang of snow.
Crime Fighters rule number 2.
I'm afraid to ask.
Be ready for anything.
Robin puts his hands together and yells. The echo shoots up the hill. A tremendous rumbling comes back down, the overhang of snow dumping on several icemen. Robin does a standing backflip into the thugs behind him. Batgirl goes down, taking out several more with a deft leg sweep.
Pow! What? Kazow!
What exactly are you doing?
I don't know. It just feels right.
Batgirl and Robin begin fighting their way through the icemen up towards the observatory. Interior observatory night. Batman pulls himself up onto the aperture ledge as Robin and Batgirl climbs in from the other side. The giant chamber is empty. The telescope still aimed at Gotham.
No sign of the snowman.
Maybe melted.
Batman shoots a bat grapple into the ceiling, swings across the room, dropping 2 bat charges at the feet of the frozen scientist. Continues his swing, landing on the telescope platform. Batgirl and Robin swing onto the telescope platform to join Batman. The bat charges begin to glow, their radiating heat starting to melt the scientists.
Hope you've got about 10 million more of those little toys.
Batgirl points at the control console clock. 11:52.
8 more minutes, and a city full of Gothamites are ice cubes forever.
Sunlight could reverse the freezing process.
Sunrise isn't for 5 hours.
Here.
But it's morning in the Congo.
Batman points to a screen showing a graphic representation of the satellites in orbit.
If we could delay the sunlight.
From the other side of the equator.
It'll take the satellites about a minute to realign, but damn.
Damn? Damn is not good.
Those targeting mirrors are frozen. The sunbeam won't work.
Pull back to reveal 2 small mirrors sitting on the telescope barrel. Both are encased in ice.
I'll set the telescope. You two thaw the mirrors.
Batgirl and Robin race out onto the telescope, each pulling a laser from their utility belts.
I love this belt. Can I get a matching handbag?
Their lasers flare. Batgirl and Robin begin thawing the mirrors. Batman goes to the main console, begins working the keyboard.
Whoever thought Aunt Harriet's typing lessons would lead to this?
Exterior Earth, viewed from space. Satellite thrusters fire. The giant orbital mirrors begin to turn. Interior observatory. Monitor close. Graphic satellites begin to adjust. Targeting flashes over blinking graphic of Gotham. A digital clock reads 11:54. Batman point of view. As he aims the telescope, the skyline through the crosshairs is suddenly obscured by a blur as Freeze drops from the rafters onto the telescope, his face now visible in the targeting scope.
Tonight's forecast, a freeze is coming.
Freeze grabs Batman and hurls the Cape Crusader up over his head onto the telescope barrel. Using his free hand to yank the telescope control joystick, the telescope tilts sharply downward. Batgirl and Robin tumble down the telescope barrel, rolling towards the lens and the drop to the city below. Batman tumbles, rights himself and spins. Batman point of view. Freeze is climbing towards the control console. Batgirl and Robin are rolling towards the end of the telescope. No way to get both. A beat. Batman rushes towards Freeze. Exterior observatory. Batgirl and then Robin tumble off at the end of the telescope, dropping towards the city below. Interior observatory. Telescope platform. Freeze has reached the main telescope control. He hits a switch. Monitor close. Graphic satellites blink red under the flashing message. Target lock disabled. Clock reads 11:56. Exterior space. Thrusters quit as the satellites stop turning. Interior observatory telescope. Batman is struggling up the slope of the telescope towards Freeze. Freeze pulls the control level. The telescope begins to tilt and spin madly, the ambient condensation creating an indoor snowstorm. Batman goes down, hanging from the telescope frame. Exterior observatory. Batgirl's plummeting towards the city below. Robin is falling a couple of feet above her. He fires a bat tether over his head. Robin's grapple secures in a glacier-like overhang. Robin reaches down for Batgirl as Batgirl reaches up towards him. Interior observatory telescope. Batman flips himself back up into the wildly spinning telescope, advancing on Freeze in the control console.
Millions will die so you can save on air conditioning. Isn't that taking self-help a little too far?
Freeze draws his pistol.
We aim to freeze.
Batman deflects the blast with his suit armor.
That's new. Let's swing. Yeah.
Freeze smashes the control joystick to the stop. The telescope spin accelerating, swinging towards. The two scientists have finally melted, stand drenched on the tower platform, the massive telescope now careening towards them.
God, this just isn't my day.
The telescope smashes directly into the tower platform. The platform begins to topple.
Up, up and away.
As the platform falls crashing onto the floor below, the two PhDs leap, landing safely on the swinging telescope, hanging on to the tensioning bar for dear life.
PhDs rule!
Freeze is thrown by the impact of the telescope, hitting the tower into the telescope platform rail, his gun falling to his feet. Exterior observatory. Robin's hand is inches from Batgirl's. The city coming up fast. Interior observatory. Telescope. Control platform. Freeze is scrambling for his gun. Suddenly a figure looms above him. It's Batman! Freeze draws. Batman kicks the gun out of his hand. The two begin to fight on the twirling platform. A battle of titans.
You've turned Gotham to ice. You've endangered countless lives. It's payback time.
Batman knocks Freeze with a mighty punch, hurling him onto the back of the telescope. Batman turns towards the console, typing commands. Monitor close, targeting, graphic satellites flash green, clock reads 11:58. The mirror overhead open, beginning to glow with ambient sunlight. Freeze screams at the emerging light, leaping onto Batman, sending the Cake Crusader sprawling into the barrel of the telescope. Freeze kicks Batman hard in the face, the hero rolling down the telescope towards the opening and Gotham beyond. Exterior observatory. Robin grabs Batgirl's hand as Batgirl fires a batarang from her wrist. Robin's tether pulls taut, the Boy Wonder holding Batgirl dangling over the city.
I've got you.
Robin's grapple rips free from the melting ice. Batgirl's grapple hits the metal roof above, holds firm. Robin's line tears free, Robin falling as Batgirl's tether pulls tight. Batgirl now holding Robin dangling above Gotham.
No, I've got you.
She pulls him eye level. The two hang suspended, face to face. Interior observatory. Batman is tumbling towards the open slat in Gotham below. He slows his fall, stopping on the barrel.
Wow, Batman.
Wider, the two scientists are clinging to a targeting groove along the body of the barrel.
I've seen you on TV.
Batman point of view. Freeze is heading back to the control panel.
Nice to meet you. Can you give me any more height on this thing?
The scientist reaches down to a red emergency lever.
Going up.
He pulls the lever and the telescope tilts straight up, sending Batman soaring into the air towards the dome above. Batman flips in midair, dives, smashing directly into Freeze. The villain crashing over the edge of the control platform and into the freezing engine. The mirrors overhead align, the beams of sunlight hitting the freezing engine. Freeze is struck by the rays, the sun penetrating his damaged suit. The telescope activates, a powerful thawing beam shooting from its giant lens. Batman turns to Freeze, the villain beginning to gray and wither.
You're losing your cool.
I think not. There'll be no hot this time in Old Town tonight. You'll get a charge out of this.
He presses a button. As Freeze rolls out of the sunlight, falling towards the floor below, charges around the telescope base explode. The telescope tilts, dropping out of the open slat towards Gotham, taking a chunk of the observatory floor with it. Exterior observatory. Robin and Batgirl are just pulling themselves onto an ice ledge beneath the dome slat as the giant telescope carrying Batman and the two scientists plummets over them towards the city below.
That's what I call an exit.
Please tell me he's on our side.
A figure steps out from behind the ice. It's Bane! Robin coils, leaps into a spinning roundhouse, but Bane knocks him away. The Boy Wonder flying hard into the snow. The monster begins advancing on Batgirl. Exterior telescope falling. Batman slides down the telescope towards the two scientists, simultaneously firing a double-ended bat tether, two grapples shooting horizontally into the air. Exterior observatory. Bat grapples close, sink into the arms of the giant sculpture, holding up the observatory just as the telescope plummets past. Exterior observatory ice ledge. Robin shakes off the blow, looks up to see Batgirl fending off Bane with a fast series of punches and kicks. She might as well be hitting steel.
Don't worry, I've got him.
Just then, Bane slams her into an ice wall by the throat, rears back with his fist, about to deliver the killing blow.
No, I've got him.
Robin leaps, ripping off the tubes leading from Bane's injector pack to his skull, venom spraying wildly into the air. Bane hits the snow, writing as the venom effect is reversed. His muscles shrink, his form diminishing until he is, again, a scrawny prisoner struggling in the folds of his costume.
You should get that suit taken in. No one's buying baggy anymore.
Exterior telescope falling. The ground is rushing up below them.
Grab my belt and hang on.
The scientists each grab one side of Batman's utility belt. The cable pulls taut, slowing Batman's fall, the telescope dropping from under them as the cable bends like a bow. Batman and the scientists sinking at its center. The cable reaches its nadir over an outcropping of rock on the cliff. Below, the telescope explodes into the frozen river.
This is your stop.
Batman pushes the scientist onto the ledge, the reduced weight shooting the cable taut, rocketing Batman up towards the dome like an arrow. Interior observatory. Batman flips into the telescope slat, followed immediately by Batgirl and Robin, all landing together on the observatory floor.
Winded, old timer.
Don't make me kill you in front of the girl.
Midnight. The telescope's gone. There's no way to thaw the city.
Theoretically, the satellites could be positioned to thaw the city directly, but it would take a computer genius.
I'm on it.
Robin clears the rubble from a fallen console, begins to type. Nothing. The equipment is dead.
Nope, I'm on it.
She quick patches a couple of broken wires. The console lighting up, whirring to life, begins hacking.
Miss Genius, Madam Genius, Her Geniusness. Which sounds better?
Exterior Earth view from space. The giant orbital satellites finally align. A full disk of the sun appears in the mirror, beam from one to the next, and then to the next. The beam cutting downward towards exterior Gotham skyline. The giant rays of focused sunlight begin warming the city. Exterior observatory night. Rays of light hit the observatory, melting the ice-covered stone. Interior observatory floor. Batman walks over to Freeze, who lies amidst the rubble, weak and gray with the growing heat, straining to breathe.
Go on. Kill me too. Just as you killed my wife.
I didn't kill your wife.
Batman presses a button on his utility belt.
Run Ivy, evidence tape 001.40.
Batman's gauntlet close. A tiny monitor shows an image of Poison Ivy.
As I told Lady Freeze when I pulled her plug, this is a one-woman show.
Freeze screams his rage. His face like tiny diamonds.
She's not dead, Victor. We found her, restored her icy slumber.
Batman's gauntlet monitor shows Mrs. Freeze restored in cryogenic slumber.
She's still frozen, Victor, alive, waiting for you to find a cure. I know what it's like to lose everything you've ever loved, but vengeance isn't power. Any two-bit thug with a gun can take a life. To give life, that's true power, a power you once had. I don't know if you'll ever find a cure for your wife, but I'm asking you now, Dr. Victor Freeze, to save another life. Show me how to cure McGregor's syndrome, stage 1. And maybe you can also save the man your wife once loved. He's still inside you, buried somewhere deep beneath the snow. Will you help me, Doctor?
Freeze stares at Batman. Finally, he unseals his chest plate, removes 2 glowing power orbs, holds them out. His smile, bittersweet.
Take 2 of these and call me in the morning.
Interior Wayne Manor, Alfred's quarters night. Robin and Batgirl watch as Batman attaches the modified power sources from Freeze's suit to Alfred's life support.
All we can do now is wait and hope.
Exterior Arkham Asylum night. The prison is secured once again. Interior Arkham Asylum cell night. Ivy sits in the barred moonlight, staring out the window, holding a small flower in her hand, pulling the petals out one by one.
He loves me. He loves me not. He loves me. He loves me.
Not.
A figure stands cloaked in shadows. He steps forward. Mr. Freeze!
It's amazing what you can buy around here for a few dozen diamonds.
Freeze begins coming towards her menacingly.
Prepare for a bitter harvest. Winter has come at last.
Not good.
Exterior Wayne Manor dawn. Morning breaks on the great old building. A pile of pizza boxes close. Pull back to reveal. Interior Wayne Manor living room dawn. World War III was lost in this room. Strewn clothes. Barbara dozes on the couch. Dick paces. Bruce stands, staring out the window, afraid he has lost Alfred forever. A throat clears. All look up. Alfred is descending the stairs, scowling.
Alfred, are you?
Rather disappointed at how poorly I taught you proper housekeeping. And quite well, it seems, thanks to you, son. Thanks to all of you. You all. Three move to him. A family reunion. Dick turns to Bruce.
One question. When Batgirl and I rolled off the telescope, how come you didn't try and save us? It was the first time I fell and you weren't there to catch me.
I knew you could handle it.
Barbara clears her throat. Dick shoots her a look.
Sometimes counting on someone else is the only way to win.
Hey, I'm the one who kicked Ivy's botanical butt. Personally, that was me. I did it all by myself.
You are going back to school.
You're never going to win this argument, Bruce.
Barbara extends her hand.
Partners?
A beat. The other heroes follow suit. A team is born.
Partners.
We're going to need a bigger cave. Dear Bat Signal Night. 3 costume Avengers race into the night. Final fade to black. The end.
Yay.
Fabulous job, everyone. Thank
Can
you
I just
to
say one
those who just witnessed this amazingness. What was that?
before you stop recording? I just
Yes.
feel like I need to extend a personal apology to anyone who has ever resided in Austria.
I think they're used to Arnold Schwarzenegger impressions at this point, so yours was top notch. Send your letters to, and then I'm going to put Anne's address down here.
Not a California accent? Oh, he was the governor.
All
You're
right.
gonna jump on the 101.
Good night, everyone.